From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you, until now.
In the end, there can be only one.
Here we are.
Yes, I love it.
Greetings.
Oh, wow, that was awesome.
And
intro.
That was cool.
welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. I am your host, Roman Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez. And we are talking about Highlander. And I want to say thank you, Jacob Ironside, for that fantastic intro. That was a thing of beauty. I wept a little bit in the kitchen of the Empire when I saw it this morning. That is outstanding. That is just top-notch work. Thank you very much, my friend, for putting that together. So, we have a couple of first-time viewers on this. Neither Mando nor Ego had seen this movie, so I'm excited to get their takes on it. We do have a couple of our panel members who are late. I hope they are not held up in a sword fight. So, but for those who are here, because we got a lot to talk about, let's start around the horn and do our intros. With me, as always, my partner here on the channel. He is my wingman. He once stopped me from bombing the planet Zeist, and I wish he hadn't. It would have prevented Highlander 2. He is Shield Wall of Dragons. Welcome back, my friend.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Just as a note, I only stopped Roman from doing it so I could, because that place is horrible. Yeah, great to be here. Great to be on this great panel. Thanks to the chat and everybody for being here. This movie, yeah, if you grew up in the 80s, it was kind of like that amalgamation of you're just finding like D&D, Aliens, all these things, Terminator, all these great movies coming out right about the same time. And this one just kind of slid in there and had some big names, and it had some new people that you never heard of before, like Christopher Lambert and everybody. So
yeah, when he signed on for this movie, he didn't speak English.
Yeah. So it kind of came out of nowhere.
The main guy that played
is
Christopher Lambert.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Okay, I thought it was a bad Tommy Wiseau impression. I was trying to figure out what was happening. Okay, that's what. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
And here's the thing, though, is that if you're growing up in that time, and it's like formative for you, and you're seeing these kinds of things, sword fights and all this kind of stuff. So I think if you were a teen or maybe even a preteen, the movie might have been more interesting than if you were an adult when you saw it. So that might be why there's so much hate for this movie in some places. In other places, people think it's the best thing since sliced cheese. Unless you've seen the second one, that'll make this thing look like Shakespeare.
Don't watch that. Don't watch that.
Don't do it.
I'm tempted.
We're the following three.
Anyway, it's great to be here. So thanks for having me on, as always. Also, happy pre-Veterans Day to everybody. It's going to be on Saturday. So thank you to all the veterans out there for everything you do and have done and will do.
And to you, my friend.
Yep.
She will tell you if this is the way. She did try to warn Jango Fett that a Mandalorian sword would not prevent his head from being chopped off, but he didn't listen. She is the untamed Mando, back with us again, despite her better instincts. Welcome, Mando. How are you?
Doing all right, besides a little bit of a cough. The allergy season has hit. It's like I woke up one morning and it was like, oh, sledgehammer. Oh, there goes my allergies. Fabulous. Other than that, doing good. Yeah, this was the first time I saw this movie. There was some parts that I was like, but for the most part, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for what it was, and then of course we had Sean Connery, so it's just automatically, in my opinion, a fabulous movie. Just if you just have his voice in it for 5 seconds, it's a best movie ever.
Agree. And this was like Pete Connery. So Connery was 54 years old when he did this movie. He was a year older than I am now.
Actually, he probably aged 10 years because he almost died 3 times or something like that.
During the movie, or
well, you need to understand Christopher Lambert is blind. He's been blind since like 20.
Right.
Oh no.
So my understanding is that Clancy Brown almost cut him in half, and Christopher Lambert almost cut his head off twice. So
wow.
Yeah, the scene where Clancy Brown busts through the door, he almost cut Sean Connery's head off.
Yeah.
That's how we rolled back in the 80s. You go, we didn't fuck around.
But I'll get to that later because we'll do the intros.
Okay. The Kurgan once tried to chop off his head, but his beard stopped it. He is the Beard of Liberty. Welcome back, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for having me. And yes, this is not just because I don't like shaving. It is defensive measure, and it is effective. Let me tell you.
That whole start to No Shave November, like you got it.
Yeah, except for this up here. This is that's a different story.
It's a work in progress.
While this wasn't technically a first watch for me, I don't think I'd ever actually seen a non-TV cut of this.
Oh wow!
Because I was like 3 when this came out. So it was something that I missed for many years and only caught like reruns on TV. So seeing the entire thing all at once was a new experience.
There are like 7 different versions of this movie out there. I think there's like an ultimate cutout now that they did a remastered Blu-ray of a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the one that we're going to be showing, there may be scenes that people don't recognize. That's the version that I had available to me. So I'd seen this version before, but it did have a couple of add-on scenes from the theatrical release.
Do you have the one with the World War II scene?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the big one you should see because it explains something later in the movie that people keep asking.
It does, and it does make more sense.
There's actually a couple scenes that were cut that got destroyed in a fire.
Oh. Why does it always have to be a fire? It doesn't.
I was just thinking that. Like literally, it's like
probably electrical failure. There was probably some sort of electrical failure.
I mean, I get the older
film
films because they were highly flammable.
Go up pretty quick.
Yeah, the older ones were made out of something that burned really easily, but I thought they replaced all that by the time this movie was made.
I don't know. That fire must not be doing a great job because we got too many Zack Snyder films made in the last 10 years.
Oh my! He is the man that knows all the things about all the things. The unbearable 73, the thad that shouldn't be, the true Prince of the Universe. I won't do that again, and I apologize for it right now.
You try it again, you might die.
Our good friend Matt.
I thought someone's cat was dying. I'm sorry.
So
sorry.
Leading off of what Roman just did, like this is one of my 2 favorite movies of all time. I want Transformers movie that came out that same year. And like there's so much in this movie, like but aside from Sean Connery, Christopher Lambert, who was in Greystoke, for example, which I loved as a kid as well. I'm a big Tarzan fan. It's never come up lately, but I've seen every Tarzan movie, almost as many times I've seen Godzilla movies. I've read every Tarzan novel, every Rice Burroughs, although they got destroyed in the flood. It's such a great franchise that more people don't, and at least Disney Tarzan. Anyway, back to Highlander. So Christopher Lambert had done Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, which is one of the better Tarzan films you'll ever see.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then he
I
obviously
when the monkey dies.
Who brought up earlier that he didn't even speak English basically for this movie. He came right out of that movie to this. And so then we discovered Clancy Brown, who's one of the great villain actors of all time. And for those you probably don't Eagle, you probably know the voice of Lex Luthor. Clancy Brown. He's the voice of Lex Luthor on the animated.
Love Clancy Brown.
I thought he sounded familiar.
Wow.
Yeah, that's young.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's young Clancy Brown. Yep.
Yeah.
So
he did a role in that Punisher the Netflix Punisher, and everyone thought he was going to be a villain. As soon as they saw him, he's such a villain in your head actor from the Highlander days. Every time you see him in a movie or TV show, it's like he's got to be a villain. He's got to be a villain. It's like you see Sean Bean, he's gonna die. He's gonna die. It's like
that's true.
Yeah. Then you have Queen's soundtrack and Queen. The guys in Queen. For those of you who are younger, they're one of the greatest rock bands of all time. I think Freddie Mercury died like 2-3 years after this movie. as a
Not
matter of
long
fact.
after.
Yeah.
Well, this came out in '86.
86, yeah.
What year did he?
When was the
did he make it to
Concert
the
for
90s?
Life? Because he died like right after that.
Right. Oh, there he is. Speak of the devil.
Anywho,
God, I got rid of him. Sorry, Josh.
Queen was showing several clips from the movie because they were trying to get them to do like the one song for it, and they loved it so much that said we'll do a bunch of songs. And then they said then they volunteered to work on the soundtrack. Then they
That's awesome.
And it's one of
just
Queen's best
whole
albums called "The Kind of
91.
Magic,"
Thank you,
which
Archie.
basically considered the Highlander soundtrack. And Chad Stilinski has said the Queen music will be in the new Highlander movies they're doing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
I'm still on the fence about that whole thing. I know people love Henry Cavill and the ladies love Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
And not just the ladies. Everyone loves Henry Cavill. But does the movie need to exist? I still go back to that, and I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to stand by it doesn't need to exist, and my answer is no, it doesn't. It's probably going to be great. Maybe I will eat the hilt of this sword, but I'm not.
Does a remake of True Grit need to exist?
No, it doesn't. I actually,
No.
but your
I didn't
funny
want
things,
it.
actually, I do like
Nah,
it better.
the OG one is perfect the way it is.
So, but anyway, let's finish up our intros, then move in, and we can chat some more about some of the other interesting aspects about this film, of which there are many. He is the meme master of the interweb, using his power for good instead of evil. He also gave us that fantastic intro. He is Jacob Ironside. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. You overdressed haggis.
Haggis. What's haggis?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
That's
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, this is
Sorry,
going to be a
Blair
fun one. Your
couldn't be
intro,
here,
I still
but-
got your intro was so good. What was that, Jacob?
Sorry, Blair couldn't be here, but
yeah, Blair had
wouldn't be
a
here
late.
I think Blair lost his head.
Ooh.
oh.
He is the red-headed giant in the land of the rising sun. He is the Ginger Ninja. Welcome back, James.
Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to you. What am I saying? It's still early in the morning. Well, it's not that early in the morning. It's 10 o'clock, but my brain's still
however
waking
you
up.
want to, buddy.
Thank you again for having me on. It's a pleasure. Drinking during my intro. I'm all over the place here. I'm just nervous. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, that's it for James, folks. It's been nice having him. So you're going to be doing some work during this show, are you?
Yeah, I'm actually printing out some screenshots right now. I can't decide which one to do, so I'm going to actually ask you guys and maybe people in the chat to help me out later decide which pose to do, because I just can't choose. But again, this movie, I've watched it several times. I grew up watching the TV show as well. I remember watching. What was that on? I can't remember what channel that was on.
Was it Fox?
Was it on USA?
Yeah.
USA, wasn't it?
I think it was USA.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it was.
I can understand where Left Eye is coming from. Where if you're watching it for the first time, you might be like, "What is all the hype about?" But when you grew up, when we did, that's everybody, brought out the swords, ready to fight, cut off the head, and much like the place where I live over here in Japan right now, where I am basically the only Western guy in this area. For as far as gingers are concerned, redheads, there could be only one. Oh yes.
Very nice.
Only one.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I have to go get my actual sword. Dang it.
Unfortunately, we're not allowed to
knife.
have those here. Swords are illegal in Japan. Real swords are.
Really?
Yep.
Just in case.
Real swords. Well,
Well, they recently unoutlawed swords and what else was it? Cane swords here in Texas.
Oh, really?
How do they practice kenjutsu if they
You have to have a license to have a proper
okay.
sword like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's actually hunters here as well too. They hunt boar. There's a lot of boar hunters here, but you have to get a special license, a permit.
You can have it. It's just you just can't just randomly go buy a sword and possess it without documentation. It's like owning a gun, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very, 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 very strict. Yeah. So yeah, thank you, Roman, again for having me on the show.
Right on. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with today, James.
Well, yeah, no pressure.
Don't disappoint me. It's fine. Everything's fine. I had a moment. Everything's okay now.
Spider?
No spider. In the land of the blinds, the man with the left eye is king. He is. We go returning once again. How are you, my friend?
Thank you guys for having me on. Like I said, I saw this for the first time last night. I have so many questions, and we'll get to them. But I had a question. Roman, do you have the Queen album from this? Because it is awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Oh yeah.
So if you now, I don't own a physical copy, but there are two. So you have the Highlander soundtrack, but there's also "It's a Kind of Magic." Is the Queen did an album of music that is in the film and inspired by the film, because not everything on that album is in the movie. So it's available on Spotify or wherever. I mean,
just go on YouTube. The whole thing will play on YouTube.
I got a vinyl player, man. I was like, I gotta play it. So
yeah, I don't have the
physical
physical album for this.
Ego, shoot me a DM.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the role that Queen played was going to be very limited, but after they saw it, they were inspired to do a whole bunch more. So it's pretty cool.
The video for Princes of the Universe is Freddie Mercury going ape crap with a sword. It's like he goes he plays a character like in the movie. You know, it's like you do actually see him interacting with the final battle. I'll put it that way.
Much like my hopes for any good Marvel have been popped, he is popped by culture. Our good friend Josh McDonald returning to us once again. How are you, sir?
Doing well. It's storming here, so we're gonna pray that the internet holds up.
Oh
but
no!
Also,
nice knowing Josh.
I know, right? I don't have a sword, but I perhaps
I've got
have
like
something...
5. Do you want one? I'll give you my little one.
Why is that a short joke? Give the short guy the little sword.
I'm 5'2".
no.
I'm 5'2". I'm shorter than you are. I'm the shortest person here. Excuse you.
I don't have a sword, but I might have something mightier, and it is the pen.
You know what? You know what's better?
Oh. Eject him! Eject him!
I got the
where's
Connery.
Joker's not here. I'm taking one for the team.
Yeah, I'm a little worried. I don't know what happened to Joker. If anybody in Vegas can go search for him, I would appreciate it. So let's talk. Let's take a look and see who is out there in the dear Mr. Tickle Trunk. I guess that's how it's going to start, folks, with Mr. Tickle Trunk and the penis is mightier. So thank you for being with us.
I'll have swords for 1,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. He meant to break that up. It's supposed to be the pen is mightier. Either version is fine. Either version is acceptable.
Yeah, you had it right the first time, Roman.
That is great.
And Melvin, deeply thank you for being here with us. Yeah, it's a kind of magic. That is the one. And
I have some trivia for Melvin based on that comment, Roman. So Queen has like literally 20 to 40 albums of unreleased written music that they recorded. Okay. Yes.
Whoa, that's a lot of material.
Because prior to this album, Queen was very competitive and they would write songs, but then they would fight to who gets whose song on the album because of the rights and all that. Until this album came along, when they loved this movie so much, they all cooperated together the first time and they all wrote the album together. This is the first album Queen wrote together as a band as opposed to individual members.
Mine.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Our good friend Zach is here. Zach, thank you, Zach. You know, it's one does his best. Ducka. R2 the icky. I wanted to see Clancy Brown's Kurgan fight Schwarzenegger's T-800. Accepted. I would actually like to see that as well. Now that you brought it up, I can't get it out of my head. Late Night with Cap, JT Gunn. Welcome to the show, my friend. Poor JT and I cannot pull things together. It's my timing. Something always goes wrong on my end, and the world flies apart. Jay, Desolate Soul Studio. Welcome. Always love to follow Jay. He is an excellent person. Tickle Trunk. Ego, Josh. Lots of Josh out here. Blair's in the chat. Blair did not lose his head, apparently. He just wants that known. Our good friend Max von Priestley. Hello, my friend, and welcome and happy Veterans Day to you, my friend.
Oh, it's the Marine Corps birthday today, by the way.
Oh, it is.
Tomorrow,
It is.
I mean,
They canceled
tomorrow.
that though. The commandant said they were not having the ball this year, so no ball
I
for
didn't
the
see that.
Marines.
Really?
Yeah, because they I guess they expect something. I don't know. Yeah, that's been all over the medias.
Yeah, I was going to say
Sucker Blue,
they're not going to have
the
their
deadly
balls.
poke of Zorro, welcome, and Mrs. Krabs, Navy veteran, and
Kind of scared there for a
into
minute,
you.
Roman. You scared me.
Which part?
About the Marines not having their balls.
No. Well, I imagine they still have theirs, but the Corps is not having its.
Okay.
My son always trying to raise me up. Thank you, John, the creative blue collar guy. Kids, what are you gonna do? I know I'm trying not to miss anyone here. America's 2001. Welcome, and I think that is
He is my editor.
Happy Veterans Day, and if you want a great Veterans Day movie to watch, it just came out. It's called The Last Rifleman.
Yeah, I've got that on my list to watch.
Oh, I have not heard of that one. And we got Zombie Box. Cajun just popped in. Hello, Corey. Sandy Q.
Sandy Q. Yeah, Sandy Q.
Welcome. Enjoyed the TV show first and then watch the film. See, that's it didn't matter. I like the show, but I have to throw the butt out there. The show shouldn't exist if the film exists because it
well, no, see, Roman, the show is supposed to be a prequel to the movie.
But how come?
Well, what happened is near the end of the first season, they realized the show was incredibly popular, and they were like, "Wait, we can't just kill these guys in one more season." Yeah. So they said we're just going to make an alternate continuity.
See, that doesn't work for me. I don't like it. But like I said, I did enjoy the show. So it is what it is. So with the crew we have, and I don't, like I said, a Joker. Do I need to put you on a milk carton?
When it comes to movies and series that are like supposed to be in the same universe, I think they should keep them separate.
Well, you couldn't.
It's just
if they had legit done like a 2 or 3 season show about the rest of the gathering, all the immortals fighting, we probably would have been okay with that, right?
Yeah.
But I think given how good the 2nd to 4th seasons of Highlander the series were, I'm okay with what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just pretend it's not there, just like the movies, and even it's far better than the other movies because which were terrible. So we have good old Cannon rolling us in, and we got that intro from Jacob earlier. Actually, I can pop that up again. We can just listen to Sean Connery.
From the dawn of time we came, moving silently down through the centuries, living many secret lives, struggling to reach the time of the gathering, when the few who remain will battle to the last. No one has ever known we were among you, until now.
In the end, there can be only one.
Here we are. Yes.
I didn't know.
I loved that I was a shield maiden. Scotland. That was amazing.
Ego is lived
was a pirate.
Lives.
Yeah, Ego's
a pirate.
You didn't know all the ancient Celts were black? That new war we just
it was so confusing.
By the way, 2 things about this intro.
Ego's feeling oppressed.
2 things about this intro. Sean Connery did the recording, the echo, from his bathroom in a villa in Spain.
I didn't know that. It was recorded in Sean Connery's shitter.
Sean Connery filmed this in his bathroom.
Also, the red lettering, that was just to put that there before they fixed it. But they liked the red lettering, so they just kept it.
Oh, yeah.
Because red is like amazing.
most of us had
Yes,
seen
it is.
Christopher Lambert's name. No one's still heard of poor Roxanne Hart. Clancy Brown became quite the powerhouse, and Sean Connery.
Roxanne Hart. I think her next big role is in that movie In the Name of the Father. That it was the film that was like a true
Daniel
story
Day-Lewis?
of Daniel Day-Lewis with about the Irish the people who were falsely accused of an IRA bombing and were put in prison for years. Giuseppe Conlon.
I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
So
Really
this
movie.
is the second movie we've done in what, a month? With Gregory Whedon. Is that how we pronounce it? Did we ever decide this?
Here's the thing. I've heard the name pronounced two ways. A French friend of my high school had that name and pronounced it Whedon. And I've heard in the metal community in German or Dutch people say Whedon. So
well, that's a lot of work.
Take
so,
your pick. You know.
So he also did The Prophecy, which we did.
And Backdraft.
Ooh.
Oh, God, see, that was a big movie. These other ones.
Yeah.
Now,
this was his college project. This was a college project that someone said you can make money off of.
He sold this. He sold the script for $200,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Crazy.
At least that's what Wikipedia said, anyway.
Well, back then that was a lot of money for a script.
That's a lot of money now.
Yeah.
Oh no! Now, are you kidding? Nowadays, a script writer for a big movie, the one they actually accept, those guys get a couple $1 million.
Yeah, but this was a UCLA college project that he.
Yeah. I agree with that. You know, it's like.
Wait.
So
I was like, what are we watching?
No, yeah, it's the beginning of the movie.
So
it's the
one set of the wrestlers in there are the Fabulous Freebirds. They're the 3-man tag team.
Yeah.
They were associated with rock and roll, which is probably why they were here. And I believe another wrestler is Tully Blanchard. I'm a pro wrestling guy, so I can't remember all their fate. You know.
Yeah, and then they had the Tonga kid.
Yeah,
the Tonga kid, that's right.
Yeah.
Tonga kid, yeah. Yep.
What was fun was that camera just flew over the whole, inside of Madison Square Garden.
I really like that shot.
On Russell Nash.
Speaking of cameras, look at this dude over to the right there. Look at the stack of flashes he's got on top of his camera.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, the other guy right there.
Oh, there it is. Right
yeah,
here.
yeah,
I got him.
Yep. Funny enough, like I don't know, but this could legit be like they said because this was a very low budget movie. They said, hey Chris, just go sit in the audience and we'll zoom in on you with the camera. And that might have been like a wrestling fan rag right there in the audience. Like
these people are way too well dressed to be wrestling fans.
Exactly. That's why I was confused.
Like, is this a basketball game or wrestling? Excuse you.
So, fun fact.
Are you going through things that you may want to do here, James?
Oh yeah. I'm trying to decide this one, or that one.
Third.
I like the second one.
Second one.
Oh,
I like the second one.
I'm for that third one with the big lightning bolts.
Yeah, I like that. I like number 3 as well, personally.
Because you get a.
Well, I could add lightning bolts and stuff into this one as well, but
I like the second one because it's close up, a little closer.
Yeah, I had an idea for like a vertical composition with the lightning coming down. So I'll just go with this third one then. I'll go with the third one.
What if you did it like
you want to do?
Better
no one puts a leash on James. That's what everybody says.
But this one's cool too. Well, whatever.
So this movie starts off with this amazing shot. Going and coming to the close up on Russell Nash is his name currently.
Yes, this was like the first time this kind of technique was used. It was a camera on wires, which now they use it like every sporting event.
And they did a lot of just the cinematography in this. I thought was just really, really nice. Given that the budget, there's the Tonga kid's butt, that the budget wasn't huge. It wasn't non-existent, but it wasn't huge. I mean, it was, I think, 16 million was the budget, and it didn't make a ton of money though. It made like about 6 million local and about 13 million abroad. So it didn't rake in the cash. And now so you're going into his memories here for a little bit back and forth. While the wrestling is going on, it's going back and forth. This wasn't in the theatrical. This is in this version.
So there had been flashbacks in movies prior to this, but I think this was the first really effective movie to use flashbacks in a way it didn't seem disruptive to the story.
So you see him get this weird look, and he just kind of leaves. And it is, at this point, you really don't understand why. Look at those cars, man.
I know.
That's how I know it's not a. He's on Real Wrestling Fans with these nice
Is
cars.
that a T-Bird there? That
Yeah, that's like a '60s. That's his car, isn't it?
I don't know where his car is.
Nah, that's his car. I think
he drives a unique silver
over here.
It was a Porsche. He drives a Porsche.
Okay. Now I'm talking about. See where the poles are.
I'll go back.
Yeah, it's red. Is that
an El Camino?
He was driving a convertible, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a white convertible. I thought
the one on the left was like an El
We'll see
Camino.
in a second. El Camino, Excelente.
Yeah, it's just got a long trunk on the back.
So you get the little bit of thrill vibe here because you still don't have any idea what's going on. The first time I saw this movie, I had no idea what it was about. So I'm 16 years old when I saw it. So it was like,
did you have a date with you? And then she immediately was like, "What's he doing? What's going on? What's happening?" And you're like, "I've just watched as much as you have. How would I know?" And then women want to complain about being mansplained too.
So one of the things they had wanted to do with this movie, which they couldn't because Lambert was blind, basically, is try to have more realistic sword fighting within the limits of their immortality, because they were influenced by a film called The Duelist, which is one of the greatest films for sword fights of all time.
Yeah,
it's got Harvey Keitel in it, right?
Yeah, it's set in like Poland or something.
I thought it was Europe, but I don't remember the set. I just remember the fights. I watch the fights all the time. The movie itself is kind of boring. The fights are great.
Yeah.
I love this too. He's like,
"What's up, Cannoli?
Good to see you, my
they
friend."
know each other's names, and then he's like, tells this guy to wait. Like,
yeah,
like they know each other.
I know, but something like that. Yeah,
forever, they know each other.
I'm not gonna lie. When they said the name, they said wait. I thought Roman was setting me up to watch like a weird gay parody. I was like,
this character,
they're playing with their swords.
Right.
Yeah, not that kind of sword fighting ego.
Okay, thank God.
Mother of God. So I actually, I didn't realize Lambert's vision was so bad. He actually does a very nice job, or the stuntman does. Whomever is swinging that sword around does a really nice job.
Look, at this point, he's not blind. Like
the character,
he's super nearsighted or something.
The character he's fighting is named Facile. He is so
Easy.
The main villain of this is called the Kurgan, right? The Kurgan as a villain evolved through the versions of the script through like 7 or 8 different versions, right? This character Facile was I want to say the 2nd or 3rd version of the Kurgan they were going to try.
Interesting.
But like the Kurgan was going to be kind of like an assassin, like sociopath, silent man type. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What I read is that the Kurgan that you get in the movie is not what they initially intended. They initially intended was he was like a knight that was knightly and cultured. But because he lived so long, the only thing he had left was this trying to end this fight. So he didn't care about anything else. And it made him more ruthless.
Yeah.
Whereas he used to be a man of culture and had a family and all that prior to it.
Yeah. They made them like him. They made them a lot older eventually than they were. So,
yeah.
This is where I can see Lambert being blind. He hits the steam pipe. And
speaking of him being almost blind, the way they get the sparks on the swords, when they touch swords, it's wires that run down to their hand to a battery.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Like, what?
Clearly, OSHA wasn't around yet because
not at all.
Yeah, no.
OSHA, what's OSHA?
They're opposing. They're opposing. So when they touch, they would create.
I've already seen the ocean.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So Facile has some crazy moves as well. He
likes those backflips,
jumping around. It's really kind of bizarre and off-putting because I don't understand it.
Well, in the 1980s, I actually have a rule of this, but Anytime in an 80s action movie you could engage in flipping, it increased the power of your attacks tenfold.
Oh, okay, I accept that.
Whenever you
I
watch
love
an 80s movie with any sort of fighting or
Very
martial
rare.
arts, watch for when they do the flips, you'll see a super attack coming every time.
Well, this is interesting. I didn't. So the Kurgan is we're a real thing. There is a city in Russia called Kurgan. I didn't know that. That's fun.
Yeah.
See, all the little things.
They
about
were
this amazing movie.
an ancient like barbarous people, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's the same kind of sword, Dempsey.
Yeah, like a rapier.
Indigo Montoya's. Yeah, that's something similar to what I've
Is this
got
true,
here.
Zax, or you just?
I believe that is true. That is not a falsehood. Zax does not tell us. He's Canadian, you know. So Russell, the Highlander loses his sword and he's forced to fight with just some metal pole thing, but he's still pretty well beating the fuck out of poor Facile, who's doing now his backflips, and he's watching him do backflips. And I was watching him do backflips, and I'm like, why the fuck is this guy doing backflips?
It's tactical backflip.
I don't remember the name of it, but the sealed sword is a Spanish sword of some sort.
That's the Toledo Salamanca.
Yeah.
I just want to know, with all that money he got, he can't sharpen his sword to beat a lead pipe.
Yeah.
It's a heavy pipe, man.
It had insulation wrapped around it.
I guess. I guess it's an 80s steel. Okay.
One problem I have with
go ahead.
The samurai sword was not really a contact sword.
True.
And his sword would be so chipped up after so many years of fighting.
I have an answer to that. If you listen to the dialogue in the movie, his sword is absurdly more dense than a normal samurai sword would be.
Yeah, because of the folding.
Yeah.
They
did like
folded 200 times, right?
They've done like
what the hell is folding? What is that?
So when you heat the metal, you fold it in on itself. So imagine you have a bar of metal, right? A billet, and you cut it in the middle and you flip and you fold it right on top of itself, and then you hammer it flat. That's one layer. You do that 1,000 times, cut it in the middle, fold it over on itself, heat it, and beat it down. You do that 1,000 times, and it'll put layers of strength into the metal. And then so when you look at it in a side profile, that's why stuff like if you know what a Damascus steel blade is, why it has that pattern in it is because it's been folded many times.
Okay. So
Roman, and some of those Damascus, they use hard and soft metal, so it gives it good.
Right. You can have a hard edge and a soft back, so it'll flex like the.
Well, that's not exactly. In material science, there's two properties: hardness and toughness. Right. So I have a metal thing in front of me. Hardness is if you try to break this by hitting it and squashing it. Toughness is if you try to break it by snapping it. Right. And iron is very hard, but not very tough. When you fold it, you increase the toughness.
Right.
So that's why you can see swords flex and not snap.
And that's your lesson on sword making today here on Roman of the Empire. Thank you. Next, we're going to be looking at cats and mittens.
That leads into a trivia thing, because there wasn't Mythbusters, but it was like when Mythbusters was big, they would do it all of YouTube like Mythbusters. They actually made a sword out of something like that and tried to cut concrete, and it kind of did cut concrete. Not like in half or whatever, but if you swung a normal katana at that concrete pillar like you did, it would just break.
Yes.
But if the sword was actually that dense, it would cut into it, but it would kind of be a little dented.
Yeah.
So here's poor Facile did not fare well in the fight. And this is when you finally start to at least get an inkling that something even more weird is happening. Swing and chop, and the head comes off, and he goes a good probably 2 inches into the concrete post. Yikes.
It's a kind of magic.
It's
a real katana would break like at the surface there, but if it were humanly possible to be strong enough to do that, and that sword were as dense as they said it was, it would cut into it like that. Now
here's where we get the cool effects of the when one of the immortals, and we still have no fucking idea what's going on yet. When one of the immortals kills another, their body goes through this. The dead body goes through this whole wonky thing where the power is coming out, and the victor absorbs the fallen immortal's power. It's pretty cool. And again, when you're first watching it, you have no fucking idea what you're looking at. It's like, what? That's peculiar.
Yeah, they really throw the MacGuffins out at the beginning of this.
Well, and everything's exploding in the hangar. Or in the hangar. I'm sorry. Forgive me, military brain. In the garage. It's like all the hubcaps start coming off. The cars start revving up. This seems like a very expensive process.
Oh yeah, and you think of all these nice cars that are sitting in this garage.
The hose is going.
They're gone.
The hoods explode. Oil starts dumping out. It's just what a hot mess.
So many jokes there.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of sex noises in this movie. I'm just gonna put it that way. Without much sex. Yeah.
To show a whole scene. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, Ego, let me ask you a question. By this point in the movie, did you were like, still, what in the world is going on?
I have seen all 4 John Wick movies, and never once did I say, "What the fuck is going on?" in the first 10 minutes.
Can I also say, and sorry if this is going to make me a hated person, but especially learning that Christopher was legally blind and couldn't see very well, I can't help but ask, why the fuck did they cast him?
He was a very big actor.
So
He was an up and coming actor who was cheap.
I think he'd only done one film before this, right?
He did Greystoke, and he did which was big. Greystoke was huge.
He did a bunch of European stuff before this.
Yeah, he was a big European actor, like in his native language, basically. Like he has, let's say I'm making a number up. Let's say he has 20 English language films. He has like 70 French language films.
Okay.
He's like a terrible actor.
I'm sorry. He's such a bad actor.
I thought he was so special.
What was that, Roman? You said he was the Zax of France.
Yes, he's like the Zax of France. So,
I would disagree with you there, Josh, but we could debate that another time. I've seen his other work, so it's like
they originally cast Kurt Russell, but he turned it down and made Big Trouble in Little China.
I didn't know that.
Oh, well, I'm glad he turned down the Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay, cool.
They were talking about Jeff Bridges at one point for this role.
I heard Mark Singer from
Mark Singer,
Beastmaster. I think he would have done all right.
I think Christopher Lambert did a fabulous job because he's got the peculiar accent. Because he was trying to, I read a little in trivia. He was trying to have almost an amalgam accent. So you couldn't really put your finger on where he was from.
Yeah, that was on purpose.
Now, when we go to Scotland here in a minute, he does have a sort of Scottish accent. So he's gonna. So he's hiding the sword.
It's better than my Scottish accent. My ancestors would be so disappointed.
For a guy that didn't speak English a few years before or a little bit.
No, he came a long way. He did just fine, I thought, and I like the weird accent.
Do we know why he didn't speak English, though? The dude was born in the U.S.
Till he was like 2, and then they moved to Switzerland, I think, because his dad was a diplomat or something like that.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Service,
that makes
I think
sense.
English is his 3rd or 4th language. I forget which.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even have. I barely got the 1, so and I can't judge.
What's that line from your favorite movie, Fifth Element? I only speak 2 languages, English and bad English.
That's right.
I thought it was Dallas.
Why? So the Highlander hides the sword, the katana, in this hanging thing in the fucking garage because he knows that the events of that occurred because he beheaded the dude and there's a beheaded dude are all going to cause some problems and the cops are going to show up. He's trying to get out of there, run. But now, so this was interesting. You don't get it well here, obviously, because I'm doing stills. The camera goes up through the ceiling, and when you come out, you're now in 15th centuries. Fuck my words. Why?
Yeah, they use that trick for a few scene transfers into flashbacks, and I really like it.
Yeah, that's a really good transition. Yeah,
because it's not jarring. It really you're just gently brought into the past. And
I have to be honest, those are some of my favorite scenes, how they transition back into the past. Those are, I think that's some of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
That is in a lot of ways the best thing about the Highlander franchise is the use of flashbacks to tell like a story within a story in this movie and in the show.
And again, I love the way they filmed this. I just thought it was beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful country anyway, but the camera work is just fantastic. And here's your first look at. Go ahead.
I was just disappointed they couldn't get the Loch Ness Monster to come out.
Oh God.
Or maybe you just didn't see him.
I was constantly waiting for William Wallace to pop out somewhere.
You're 10 years too early.
Yeah.
So this is Connor MacLeod. You're meeting him here, and they're getting the Clan MacLeod is getting ready to go into battle with Clan McFuckall.
Fraser.
Oh, Fraser. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying enough attention. This is so you know that you're in Scotland. In case you're curious, you must have a bagpiper. And the priest is giving you, and I forget he gives the exact year. Is it 1510? In the year of our Lord 1510. May the MacLeods have victory over Clan McFuckall. And I love the banter between the three of them, between Angus and what's the little fellow's name? Not Connor.
What? No.
Is it Dougal? That can't be right.
I think Dougal.
Cousin Dougal. Yeah.
Oh, I thought somebody said McGillicuddy. I was like,
it's Dougal.
Dougal.
It's Irish.
And the dialogue here was
I'm
just,
not afraid. The first time I went into battle, I peed my kilt.
Hi, Angus.
That has to be very uncomfortable for the horse. And just being honest, like you're the poor horse.
Well, if they're wearing it traditionally, they're rubbing their gooch all over it. So
not so good.
Yeah.
But it's just the kind of banter that people who are close, you fuck with each other, especially when you're actually nervous.
The dude who played Angus was in a lot of stuff. Like you'll see,
Braveheart,
Troy.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
He was in Kingdom of Heaven.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is Rachel,
chick.
right? Isn't it
This chick, I wanted to smack the whole time.
Crazy. She was awful.
She just.
Whereas the guy who played the other guy, he was like in nothing after this. Like it's like
he was in nothing.
Yeah.
So who were you exactly? I was cousin Dougal. The other guy.
The other guy.
I was
There's
watching.
three of us.
I
It was the
was
other guy.
reading about this battle here. They got a bunch of college kids that had long hair. They just cast them because they had long hair.
Yeah,
and they were drunk half the time.
It sounds pretty much like a Scottish guy.
Par for the course for Scotland.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I did misspeak. That's the 16th century. Yes, 1500, 16th century. Yes, I apologize.
If you're wondering why the Kurgan looks so much bigger than Connor, even though the internet will tell you that Christopher Lambert's height is like 5'10" or whatever, it's not. It's more like 5'4".
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, he's very short. He's
the same size as Mando?
He's very short.
You can take him, Mando. My money's on Mando.
Yeah.
Here's where you get your first look at the Kurgan, and man, what an imposing!
Oh God, yeah.
Right?
Just fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
My
how he
favorite
made that
movie
armor.
villain
Is that
of all
actual
time.
skulls? Is it just metal that's supposed to be shaped like skulls? I need answers. I need answers.
I say they're skulls.
If it's actual bone, that would just shatter right
Not
off
actually
there.
good armor.
With armor with armor underneath it. Because you can kind of see if you go back one.
I think she could do it. What to go back?
Yeah, go back to because you can kind of see where there's metal underneath it.
Yeah,
like in the eye sockets. And
there's not. I mean, he's obviously wearing mail underneath because everybody fucking wore mail underneath,
cool.
except for the Scots who were just fighting bare ass naked, showing their bits.
That's how you
do
it.
Did that too.
Moving people. Yeah.
The fucking lightning and the horse kicking up. It's just fucking it's an image, and that's what Connor's thinking. Who the fuck is that? Remember our deal, McFuckall. The one called Connor is mine.
Right, and by this point, the Kurgan's already ancient, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It-
he's
it-
like
in the-
thousands.
In the movie continuity, he's the oldest immortal.
Yes.
Because we don't talk about the fifth film.
Oh, he's older than Ramirez.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's the
Roman,
oldest and most
show-
powerful of
show,
the
And
immortals.
we'll be meeting
Roman,
him
show-
soon. Yep.
Show James's artwork.
Oh, okay, yeah. Remind me to do that from time to time because you know I'm fucking old and I'm not very clever. Already fucking beautiful, James.
There we go.
Cool.
You have such a
Looking
talent,
good.
man.
Just doing it all
See,
right.
I would have a stick figure with an angry face and a squiggly line going through him. Oh, well, God, it's me. Ah, whoa, whoa, ah. Wait, what happened? I fucked everything
Good
up.
thing he had pants on.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I got rid of did I get rid of my thing? Had to be a better way to say that. All right, I'm gonna share screen and it's probably gonna get all cocked up. Where'd it go? No, there's Jacob.
It is
Yeah,
20.
I'm
that's
having a
where
moment.
he-
I'm having a moment.
Roman,
The
that
TV
is what
show-
Pippin's
I take the
saying.
blame.
If mine have to go, yours have to go. That's what
Yeah.
Pippin is
Wait,
thinking.
what happened?
So
Oh, here we go.
Pippin,
Okay.
your dog.
Oh, poor Pippin. Yeah, that's happening. What? Oh, good God!
why do you have McAfee?
No, let's not talk about my virus software right now, man.
McAfee's fine.
We
There we
IT
go.
people notice things like that. It's like,
All right, now it's back. All right, sorry
There it
everyone.
is.
This is what
That's
happens when you click on one wrong thing. Everything falls apart. The viewers are gone. So the skies are getting dark and it's just getting weird out there. But I thought the battle was done very well. Certainly better than Game
Oh,
of
yeah.
Thrones. So Dougal's swinging away, and poor Connor's trying to fight. He's like, "No one will fight me."
That was funny.
It was.
it's like, well, Dougal has to go all in because this is basically his only role ever. So he has to go all in.
That true,
you know?
true.
Yeah, and
So
the monk or whatever he is,
Yeah, he slits the guy's throat.
somebody's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my son.
Yeah, I loved that.
Well, they would
He-
have killed him
he's
too. He's a member of the
just
rival
miffed.
clan. It's like,
Yeah.
Oh, wait, new to the world of Highlander. What? Well, John Eric St. James, I hope you enjoy our stream. Then you'll get to learn quite a bit.
At that
so
name,
d-
it sounds like he was the Highlander.
You may have been there.
Yeah.
So here's where the Kurgan shows up, literally on top of Connor. Fight me, MacLeod.
And
Oh,
if you think Clancy Brown is chewing the scenery now, by the end of the film,
yeah.
there's no scenery
Oh, I
left.
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
He
He
is
has
so much
great-
funny. He had such a
great
good time,
charisma.
obviously.
Oh yeah, you
really,
can tell.
if they didn't have Clancy Brown and Sean Connery in this movie, it would be a completely different
Oh
story.
yeah,
I
it
think.
would have been.
Oh,
better.
absolutely.
Agreed.
Like if
So-
it didn't have Sean Connery, I probably wouldn't think it so highly as I do. But just because it's Sean Connery, I like any
I
movie.
love him. Oh,
it's
hey,
just
Copa.
amazing.
welcome, my
What's up,
friend.
Copa?
So fucking, Connor lasts about 3 seconds in the fight with Kurgan,
Yeah.
who
I mean, this is the first time
should
fighting.
have gone
Like,
for the
what do
head,
you
Kurgan.
expect?
You should have gone for the
He
head.
left himself wide open too.
No, yeah, see, his
Yeah.
shield's off to the side. Kurgan's just like, all right.
Like he's
Wow.
wide open. Like yes, please stab me.
No, he's
What?
also
And-
being hit shocked by the quickening. Like that
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
is something you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
learn how to tolerate. It's
fucking
not,
fucking him up.
yeah,
Oh,
And
when
now
they get
he's
when they
Turning,
get close
yeah,
to each
yeah,
other.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't. That feeling doesn't turn off.
Yeah.
It's urging them to fight. It's like even then, it's just like Ramirez kind of trains him in how to control it and not let it control him. Like,
Yeah. The first time they feel
He's
it,
got
it's
very
like
nice teeth.
overpowering.
I was
So
thinking the
it's
same
it's
thing.
hard to.
So he's
function.
about to lop off his noggin, and then cousin Dougal comes in. There can be only one Highlander, and the Scots overtake him because there's a bunch of them, and they drag him off. Another time, MacLeod, and this is another cool shot. You go up and over the body, just like almost like the soul is leaving. And this is neat. Now it becomes an eye.
That was cool.
It's just cool, man. Now, how come his car didn't get fucked up? That's what I want to know. He must have had "Don't fuck up my car" during the quickening parking.
His car.
So when you get insurance for your car, there's like a tiny little section that's like, don't let your car get fucked up by all
He's
these
so
weird
old,
things.
he probably knew Tesla, and then
Just unplugs the
had to
battery.
fill his car, to shield it.
I just want to know why this man didn't go back to the stadium.
It's a Porsche. It's one of my favorite cars.
That's nice.
What was that, Ego?
I'm with
Ego. Why didn't this man go back into the stadium? I was so confused.
Yeah.
He hit a big ass katana in an overcoat. I'm pretty sure you can get back into the stadium without anyone knowing.
He's on a high right now. He's had a rush of stuff going through his head that's making him not think clear. He has to absorb all those guys' memories and assimilate them.
And then we get a bunch of cops pointing their guns at each other.
It's
one of my pet peeves. Okay,
he's literally in his brain reliving the entire other guy's life right now.
It's one of my pet peeves in movies where the trained people are pointing guns at each other.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Spider-Man meme.
True.
Yeah.
So they're not very happy with him right now. Don't move, pal. Don't even breathe. And now we're in fucking Scotland again. So another nice.
Well, I like that because it switches to a shot of him not breathing because he's dead, basically.
Yeah.
I like that little transition.
Oh, hey, that's good.
And again, they're reminding you that you're in Scotland, hence the fucking bagpipes.
Every time
So
I
they're
hear
saying,
bagpipes,
I just noticed this. The monk has a monk hawk. A mohawk.
Mohawk.
That's how it was back then.
Has anyone else noticed that his wound has now been in 3 different places?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they
he's
established
clearly
in the lore
breathing here too.
that their first mortal death is a normal mortal death, however long it takes, and then afterwards they pop back up like almost instantly.
How much headcanon did you have to have going after this movie was out? Because I'm getting all this information now.
Well, there's been tons of comic books, novels, other series. There's like lots and lots of add-on to this.
There's an animated series as well.
The horrible
animated series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like I did not. Oh, Dempsey's out there. Hello, Dempsey.
It's the worst animated series. In
Who was not immortal? Irene.
R.I.P.
Y'all remember Irene?
Just to let y'all know, if I disappear, it's raining outside, pretty heavy.
Does the rain make the raccoons rise and to attack your dwelling? Is that what happens?
Yes.
Just wanted to make sure. So now they're again, his death scene was good. His girlfriend's there. She's like wailing, and he's a Highlander, by God. The last sounds he hears shall not be that of a wailing woman. And then,
did you take out the trash now?
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend was better than you.
Angus is the clan leader, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
The what leader?
The clan leader.
Oh,
Which clan are we talking about?
I will not dignify that word.
You're
already on my bad list for not liking this movie, so there we go.
So I look down, right? I look down at the chat and I look back up and I see this this person with the plaid shirt on, and I thought it was like still in Scotland, and I was like, what? When did they have writing like that on there? And I was like, oh, it's modern. Okay.
Yeah, we're back in the parking lots. There's
it's her. Okay.
Brenda, the detective. Brenda, what's her fucking name?
So just
Brenda
random
Wyatt.
question, and this probably
Brenda
is not in
Wyatt.
the lore. Is she supposed to be the other chick that he gets with, like reincarnated? Is that who she's supposed to be?
No,
she's just a broad.
He just like blonde.
Okay, because like they look similar. Like, is she supposed to be
He has a type. He has a type.
He's
Okay.
he's the
He has
blonde
a
of
type.
Highlanders. Yeah.
So
Smart girls.
Matt, I have to ask you because you will know this. Is this the fat guy who works in the
Yes.
Yeah.
from The Crow, right?
Yes.
Did you hear me
You
rapping?
know what I was talking about. You knew exactly what I was
your
talking.
door?
This is the guy from The Crow, though. The
He's
pawn shop dealer. The
guy.
piece of shit pawn
Which
shop
one?
dealer.
That one.
As soon as I
it
saw
was
the
just-
you
I'm
circle
like-
in the face, I was like, "You're going to ask about the Crow." So that's what,
I'm like, that's the fucking guy from The Crow. But I could,
Yeah.
I was like,
If
maybe
you
my
look
old brain's
around,
playing
John
tricks.
Polito.
I don't have the list anymore. But
Yeah.
I know someone who went crazy with this movie because there were a lot of like people in the background who went on to big roles elsewhere.
Okay.
Well, I don't even remember. But like you'll see, like random cop number 7 was on like All My Children for 15 years after this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they all go on to like big whatever.
That previous picture looked like young Josh was in the back there.
Yeah.
Standing around. Yeah, there.
I just want to know who was in charge of this perimeter because, boy, they're gonna
it's
get
a fucking
fired.
mess. So she's pissed off because forensics.
They
forensics
got
is
an
supposed to get
angry.
called.
They have an angry crowd of people that lost their car.
Well, yeah, every
Oh,
yeah,
good
all the
point.
cars are fucked up. So now she finds the sword because she's the only one who apparently is looking for a sword. No, I don't know why no one else saw this. No one's tagged it. No one has seen it yet. She's the first one. They've got the body, they got the head, but they don't have the sword.
Well, she figures out that he was killed by a sword, right? Is that what it is?
Well, like I said, it was just laying there. It's not that far from the body. I don't know what kind of investigative search they did, but it clearly wasn't that good.
That's always a good trope. When,
Hey, anybody who missed the big fucking sword over here?
Right,
Did you not see the fucking sword?
where they've had like them
Shiny and shit.
They swept the crime scene, and then some random person comes in and finds this giant clue that they missed.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you've got a headless body with
You
a
guys,
clean cut, you're going to be looking
you
for
guys
a
are all
blade of some
spoiled
sort.
by Law and Order. Like, I mean, I hate to say this, but back in the day, like in the 80s and 70s and earlier, police investigations sucked. They did.
Yeah, they did.
But there's a reason like tens of thousands of people have been exonerated with DNA tests 30 years later.
True.
Yeah. Hey, so Beard, you got to take off here in a little bit. Do you want to give your thoughts on the movie and like maybe rate it or whatever?
Yeah, I hate that I have to bail so early in this, but overall I enjoy it. It is really over the top, so I can definitely understand how some people would look at it and be kind of like, it's not for me. I'm not joking. If people haven't seen this, when y'all get to the end, Clancy Brown is chewing on everything in sight, and it's way over the top. And I think it's crazy fun, but I wouldn't call this one of my absolute favorite films. But I also didn't grow up with it. But anyway, I don't know exactly what I would give it rating. Maybe 6.5, 7 for me. Probably more of a 6.5.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't regret seeing it, though, right?
No. And I do find that it's kind of the
for
universe
folk,
way
I do,
interesting.
I do think you have a different view of it than we older folk.
Yeah.
If you were an immortal, what type of sword would you use?
Oh, seeing as I have Scottish heritage, I'd have to go with something Scottish. I don't know enough about swords to say exactly which ones, but
probably go with the broadsword.
Claymore, broadsword.
Claymore, yeah, probably a claymore.
CLS Studio, welcome.
So anyway, sorry again for dipping out. Y'all enjoy the rest of this, and
all right, you're back with us next week.
Unacceptable.
I'm not sure. I don't think I've gotten anything for next week.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
I can't remember, honestly.
Did I not mention that one? Maybe I didn't. I don't know.
I don't think I was tagged on that one. We'll figure it out.
I'll have to look. You may have not be. I may be getting my bearded co-host confused.
Yeah, got to trade us
So
out
many
everybody.
bearded people.
But thank you for
Out of
hanging
control.
out with us, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it as always.
Yeah, thank you for letting me join in.
Yeah. Now Beard has to go duel
later-
somebody.
later,
If I could
Beard.
be the only one.
Yeah, I've got to fight. Wish me luck.
All right, buddy.
See y'all
Later,
Later.
Beard.
Don't
Have a
lose
good
your
one.
head.
All right, now back to the big shiny object that everybody fucking missed. What do you got there, Brenda? It's a fucking sword. What do you think it is? So she's
It's a
telling
point.
you
It's a letter opener. Very
it's
big
very-
letter
very
opener.
large letter opener.
Like nowadays, like the cops just cordoned it off, and actual forensic investigators ripped the site apart.
Yes.
But back
Yeah.
then, like the cops would put stuff in sandwich baggies and stuff, like not even gloves, and they would like give it to the crime lab, give it to the crime. That's all they would ever say, you know. And there'd be like 30-year backlogs of stuff they haven't tested, you know.
So she tells him it's a Toledo Salamanca. It's worth about $1 million. Wow. Which
Look over there. Look that way. Now it's gone.
What's the deal?
So now they're getting ready to question Mr. Nash. And there's a whole, this guy's a dick. He throws a bunch of just kind of random dick questions at him. and he does.
Why you
he
looking for
outstares
something?
him though. And so he brings in and he's like,
Yeah,
so,
the guy that was in the
what's
crow
this
who
guy's
just
name?
throws him across the room. This guy.
I don't know. You tell me. All right. His name's Facile. And now we have more clever dialogue from Sergeant Dickface. Basically, he's just taunting him, being a shithead. So he's like, "Do you know what this is? A sword." And here we have the fellow from The Crow again. Apparently, he's just always looked like that. He's just smaller.
He was from The Crow. He did The Green Mile. He did a lot of stuff. You've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's one of those actors who's appeared in a lot of roles. You know.
Okay, and now he's giving his theory as to why Mr. Nash went down into the garage. It was for paid for loving, I guess, and he just we'll call it.
That dude looks creepy, like he's really into it.
He does.
Yeah, he does. And it doesn't go well for him. Nash basically just tosses him. And then the
little guy
lieutenant's
gets
like
thrown across the room too.
Oh yeah, by accident. So I mean, they're obviously stronger than regular peeps.
Yeah.
So and then the lieutenant steps in and the Highlander's like, "Am I under arrest?" Shut up, Copa. Shut the fuck up, Copa. Yes.
Yes.
Such a shame.
That's it.
Am I under arrest? No. Then we're through. Then we're through. And we're just getting started. And then everybody's cheering because he beat the shit out of the cop.
Go back one image. Is that Sue Simmons from NBC? Do you remember the news reporter?
I cannot answer that question.
The one next to the blonde chick. Now I gotta.
She does look familiar.
I gotta go look.
I cannot say. I cannot say.
That'll be
so now we're getting the news broadcast that a body without a head in Madison Square Garden, and this is where you see modern day.
The headless horseman is looking for a new host.
I know his name.
I know his name.
So he's got some scars now. So they can, and I find that interesting that the immortals do scar.
Yeah.
So if you cut off the immortal's hand,
if the wound doesn't kill them, it will heal. It can heal quickly, but like a normal wound. Like if you if you chop him, say in the dome, right, and it kills him, it'll just heal over. But if you wound him normally, it'll heal fast, but like a normal wound. That's the movie Immortals. The TV show Immortals, it just heals.
So the question is, so if you lop his hand off, is that it? The hand doesn't grow back, right?
He could reattach it, but otherwise it won't grow back.
Okay.
Wow. That sounds like a lot of work. Yeah. So he's signing in as Victor Kruger into Shit Motel in whatever borough.
I thought he was writing down Victor Crumb. I'll be quite honest, for you Harry Potter fans, you know who I'm talking about. I was like, wait a second, is that him?
So I will save you the grace of watching any of the sequels. The premise of how their powers work is that there's an electromagnetic field that's actually the immortal, and it's holding their body together. And the only way to release it is to sever the neck.
Yeah.
Are there any metachlorians involved?
I'm still. Who's the immortal, man? I'm sorry. Who's the immortal?
They're called immortals. That's what they call themselves.
So they're all the electromagnetic field is holding them all together.
Well, not all of them have the quickening, but all of them have an electromagnetic field contained in their body that can only be released by severing their head.
They're Raiden.
That's the way to think
No,
of
that's
it. Yeah.
Christopher
But
Lambert.
see,
Mortal Kombat.
the information that he's giving you is not explained in this movie.
Okay,
No,
that's why I'm
subsequent-
confused. Okay.
I'm just trying. I know you have
inside
questions. I'm trying to answer, so you don't have to watch 2 through 5.
I
Don't watch
no, I
2
saw.
through 5.
I
Don't
read.
do it.
I wikied
Don't
the
do it.
first paragraph of the second one. I said I refuse to do this to myself.
Oh no, they're terrible. They're absolutely
It's
terrible.
recreational sadness. I don't do that.
At this point, what you see right here is what most people knew. Somehow
Yes,
they're
that's
immortal. There's a couple of
all
them
you
running
need.
around. Not everybody is like them, and they can sense each other when they're near, and that's about it.
Yeah, and the electromagnetic thing is why they trigger like cars to light up and all that. Like when it's released, it induces current in metal. It's it's the premise of why when they're fighting, how to use the battery on the sword. Remember, someone said that before. Why they generate electricity with metal because their electromagnetic field is inducing current.
This is an interesting sword. I don't quite understand it.
I don't think this would work in any way, shape, or
No.
form.
I just don't understand why
so many
putting
questions
how
here.
the blades sliding together, the blade
It would
just
break
would
apart.
never come
First
off. I don't know why. I don't understand that.
whack.
Did anybody other than I got total I got Terminator and Conan the Barbarian vibes from this scene. Like
Yeah.
it seemed like the
If,
director.
well, interesting you mentioned that. If you on the versus forums, where people like so and so versus so and so, the Kurgan versus the Terminator was one of those perennial fights that would throw into people with debate. Yeah.
How does this blade stay on?
But it was something they thought would be
It's a
cool.
kind of magic. Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I was
they
gonna
thought
say.
something they thought would be
Okay,
cool.
okay,
And if
okay.
you were a teenager, you didn't think about this stuff. It was really cool. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, he's got a cool sword. I wonder if the blade shoots off of it, and
Well, yeah,
all this kind
like
of stuff.
oh shit, what's the name of that movie? Sword of the Sorcerer.
Well, yeah, the tri sword.
Yeah, the tri-sword.
Yeah.
Oh, we never. So
Now,
okay,
the
Joker's
blade
still
part is-
alive. I got a
The blade part is
Help me.
BS, but the hilt part is how a real sword will be assembled.
okay.
Yeah.
Hey Blair,
Yes.
you're Mando. Blair,
What?
check your
Mando?
DMs.
What?
No, I'm telling Blair to check his DMs. Blair,
Then
Blair
why'd
to
you say
Blair, check.
Mando?
I said Blair.
I
heard
could have
Did I
Mando
say
too.
Mando?
said Mando.
Yeah,
I
I
said
heard
You're
Mando.
we're witnessing it.
Manda Blair. Manda Blair.
We're
All right,
literally-
remember you
What are we
thought-
missing? What are we witnessing, JJ? You talking about
I
Alzheimer's?
don't-
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
And
It's
we just
funny.
witnessed the downfall.
I don't know.
The
I hate
opposite of
all
the
of you.
quickening. The opposite of
Yeah,
the slowing.
the slowing.
The forgetting. The forgetting.
The forgetting.
The ego is like,
That's a great.
what did I get
James,
myself
that is
into?
a great
It is
picture,
great.
man.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
Oh my
God.
god.
It's coming together.
By the way, the
Coming together
lightning,
nicely.
the lightning was to cover up the wires that he was attached to.
Which they
Oh,
did do a
wow.
really good
Yeah.
job of.
Yeah.
So
they
what
did,
the fuck
they
is he
did.
doing here? What is it? The twirling of the sword. I know.
Oh, that was
Like it's
cool.
Conan.
He had to
It's
roll it
totally
across.
It was
Conan.
kind of cool.
So you know how
It
many
looked kinda
times I
cool.
did that
Yeah.
as a kid with like a stick or something
Yeah.
to reenact the scene. It was so cool.
It just looks like it would cause injury.
Not when you're doing it with like a broom handle.
Yeah.
Well, if they
Well,
just
then,
thought with broom
well,
handles,
well,
this
well-
movie wouldn't have been very good.
What would he care about the injuries, though?
Here's Candy.
Candy,
She
you're
was
ugly,
a big.
but you need to run.
She was like
This
a
is
level.
hilarious. Candy has a fucking hand mark on her arm.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
in the
funny.
'80s, she was kind of like a I would say a not top tier, but like level 2 model in Britain.
Uh,
She only ever did like
She
2
come-
movies.
and again, I like this. She comes in. Hi, I'm Candy. Of course.
I know.
Yeah, I love that.
So now we're back with Brenda looking at fucking bits. They pulled the metal out of the that cements in the I keep wanting to say hangar in the garage. Well, fair enough. So now they're getting into carbon dating, and she's like, "This is," I don't know what any of these fucking numbers mean, but she knows that the blade is should not exist. So he's down there trying to get it, and then Brenda pops up, and he's hiding like a weirdo, watching her like a weirdo because he's a fucking weirdo. So she brings a metal detector. Here's where okay. This is just me, and I'm old and I'm grumpy. There he is. Let's beam him in. Welcome to the show, our favorite internet wizard. It is Blair to Blair.
G'day, how's it going? I've been listening while working, so.
I'm glad you're able to make it. So our audience may not be aware, there's actually a beard quota here at Roman of the Empire. So
when one beard leaves, another must enter.
It's like a beard tag team.
Yeah,
but there can only be one on the street.
I have a question for Blair, though. What was it like being in 15th century Scotland?
Smelly, dirty,
lots of haggis.
Yeah.
Food wasn't the best, honestly.
Not good.
Kind of cold. You heat yourself up steaming piles of peat. So no.
So she's got a metal detector in the garage.
Yes.
I don't know. There's a lot of metal in the garage.
There's rebar in that.
I know.
I'm just thinking that
always killed me too.
Garage.
Yeah.
You can find metal everywhere.
Minor nitpick to this movie, but it bothered me. Yeah, there's all kinds of metal in this fucking pole. Look at that; it's amazing.
Well,
so she pulls out
I don't know. With the way some of my relatives built to substandard, maybe some of the
that's what I was going to say.
That's true. That's true. There may be something else in that pole.
It was set on folded metal.
There's rebar in that. Sure, there's some rebar in that building. Sure,
there's Jimmy Hoffa's fucking arm too.
It was folded. It was on folded metal setting on the
that's right.
Hey, I got a quick question for Ego. Hey, did Shiro watch this with you?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What did she think?
She left before Sean Connery even got there.
Oh.
Okay.
She couldn't do it. She was like, "What is?" She's like, "What's happening? Why is he slow? Why does he have dead eyes? And why is he doing backflips?" I couldn't explain any of those because I hadn't. Like, I'm leaving.
I couldn't explain any of those.
I don't know what's going on either.
What's wrong with Roman? Was that one of the questions? Ego.
No, she was like, "Why are you doing this to yourself?" I just said, I was like, she usually wants me to have answers for these movies, and because I've read it and looked it up, I have them. I didn't have it. She's like, "What's happening?" I said, "Honey, I don't fucking know what's happening. Okay, Roman wants me to watch it. I need to watch it to make sure I know what's happening, but I don't know what's going on either." Okay.
See, this goes back to my point that women always do that. You're watching the same movie at the same point, and they think you have all this added information, but yet when you explain stuff to them they don't know, then they call it mansplaining. I don't get it.
Only
nobody.
The difference is 10 minutes.
We've been trying
if someone guess it right and they say it 10 minutes later, she's always going to look to you to have the answer. But if you're wrong one time, then it's mansplaining. So difference is like 10 minutes.
Right? Oh Lord. So Brenda's had a tough day. She's going to her local watering hole. I don't know what this is. It looks expensive, but she doesn't finish it, which I found kind of sad. And you see a man coming in the background. Of course, it's our boy. And this is a bit awkward. So he just kind of mumbles in the background. Go to the garden often.
Stalker.
Weird stalker fuck. Me? And then she goes over. What did you say? Madison Square Garden. Go there often? Wrestling, boxing, whatever. Are you following? Yes.
Now she'd
make. Are you following me?
And she'd be like, "Look at this."
Godzilla laid his eggs in there.
Yeah, right. Really.
There's no actual Godzilla in that movie.
Madison Square Garden is like a dumping ground for all the weirdness in New York.
Yeah.
Clearly. I'd like to walk you home, Brenda.
Oh no!
Let me walk you home, Brenda. Excuse
me. This sounds like a great idea. So he throws money on the thing, walks out. He doesn't finish his drink either. Because he ordered something else expensive, some fucking scotch that no one's ever fucking heard of, but this guy's got it. And it's like, man, what a waste! What a waste of the alcohol.
That was the 80s. The decade of excess. Just order drinks and don't drink them.
So he's getting the vibe here because they get the quick inning, so he knows somewhere he's and he doesn't necessarily know who. I just think he knows another immortal is around.
I love the way
Brenda's following him. And this was kind of cool. You just see a hand grab Brenda. You don't know what's going on here. Of course, if it's New York, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it's our boy, and he's like, be quiet.
I love how he just jumps out. Hello.
Hello, Highlander.
Hello, MacLeod.
He's got a hose. I don't know why he went for the hose instead of the sword. That sounds, actually, when I say it like that, it doesn't sound good.
The hose is mightier than the sword.
Yeah. And I apologize once again to our audience.
All the sword fighting, huh?
That kind of sword
he's swinging
fighting
his
is a little,
hose
weird.
after Kurgan's sword.
I don't think he has his sword with him at this time.
Oh,
Then
no,
again,
you're right.
But then again, they might have said, we don't want Lambert to kill Clancy Brown, so no, let's not have a sword fight right now.
Yeah. We draw this out a little.
He's blind as a bat. We've got bad lighting. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
He kind of gets the shit beat out of him here, though. MacLeod.
Yeah.
The Kurgan is like using every bit of metal to bang his fucking face into. It's like, ow. I felt these blows. It's like thick, bang, wham.
Yeah, the Kurgan is overpowering physically. You can't beat him that way.
Just beating the shit out of him for. Really, he could have ended this fight if he had wanted to a lot earlier, but he's just enjoying himself.
So I just had a thought. So you have to cut their head off. What if you blow their head off with like a 37 millimeter anti-piercing?
I think it works.
Just a 500 Magnum,
Just as long as the head is gone.
Just get some TNT and make him swallow it.
I mean, the premise is as long as the neck is severed, and I'll loose. Well, I won't say any more.
The reason I'm asking is because I know that this had to have gone through Ego's mind while you were watching the movie.
I was like, yeah. When the guy had the gun that said, I'm like, I mean, just do it, end it, and you get out of the situation.
But that won't kill. That'll heal. They'll recover from that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you play dead because you just took a 38 to the head. So I'm like, it'll be case over. And before you're even cold in the morning, you wake up and get out. That's what I was thinking.
That's actually the premise of like a lot of immortals do that if you watch a TV show.
Yeah. There's actually one immortal that has a
Ego's like, I have homework.
A gun.
MCU. What the hell?
In the series, there's an immortal that has that like a gun or something in the handle of his sword.
Remember the episode with the Italian mob immortal who would shoot them first?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he would go around. He couldn't fight with his sword, so he'd go around and shoot them and then cut their head off.
Cheating bastard.
Lazy bastard. So Brenda shows up as the Kurgan is about to disembowel our friend. And then this is kind of fun. The helicopter shows up like he's gonna fucking do anything. He's like, "Hey, you two, stop!"
Oh my god!
Stop fighting! I know one of you's fighting with a pipe, but stop fighting.
Then we get again.
Hey, guys, stop that! Stop that!
Hey, come back.
For me, I kind of feel like this is his favorite part of the movie so far.
No, I'm like, ain't no one go like, oh shit, that's Brenda. What is happening?
Brenda. Hey, Brenda.
God damn, it's Brenda. Brenda's always in some shit. And no one questioned her about it afterwards. What bothered the fuck out of me?
Yeah.
Oh, I see Brenda down there. She's with two random dudes.
It's always in some shit. That's
kind of behavior.
Brenda,
over the loudspeaker. Brenda, what are you doing down there?
It's all I expected. Exactly. Like, Brenda, what the fuck are you
doing? It looks like MacLeod's gonna give her the backhand here. He's like, "Don't ever follow me again."
Well, he just took a page out of Sean Connery's book there.
If you found
So now we are. Wait, what Copa? What do you? The Toyota Highlander was first produced and pioneered the crossover. I don't know.
That statement makes about as much sense in conjunction with this movie as what
Thank you.
That's how Ego feels. That's how I feel now. Now we're back in 16th century Scotland. They're all kind of brooding. They're like, it's not natural. He should have died.
First reaction is he's possessed by the devil. Like, what?
Yeah.
Come on. What would you think
Come
back
on.
in this time period if somebody's dead and then they come back?
Yeah.
He should try to milk it out a little while. Like, oh, I'm getting better every day, slowly.
Literally, they were going around burning people at the stake for being witches around this time. So
yeah. Those are the days.
I'm so he could have been like, it's a miracle.
Plus, there's again, this is stuff you don't learn in the movie, but all the immortals are foundlings. They're all adopted orphans. So he had a mysterious background to begin with.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
They're all foundlings.
Every time you
No
say
one
some
knows
new
that.
information, I just laugh at Ego's face. He's like, what the fuck, man?
Like, you wouldn't have known this just by watching this movie.
You don't.
Rose like Christ.
You don't. There's
It's
a whole
the devil.
deep dive into
Thank
this setting.
funny.
Like the movie sucked. Granted, 2 through 5, whatever. But there's a lot of great comics and novels and a decent TV show, at least for seasons 2 through 4. So.
And it's at this point, Connor's like, "What's the matter?" And Dougal's like, "You walking around and breathing. It's not natural. It's the devil."
Oh, here we go. It's a woman. Starts the shit up.
That lady's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's because isn't that his woman he's messing
Yeah, that's his
with?
betrothed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what this tells me is she just wants to bang other dudes.
Yeah.
She's been eyeing Dougal for a
Well,
while.
think of her. If she marries him and has devil babies, it's not a good thing.
I don't know.
Not that he could father children.
Him at the
Again,
stake, burn him.
She's really getting into it, though.
Right,
she is,
like,
she is
bro.
more Bernie than anybody else in the village.
Yeah.
So they got poor Connor tied to this, whatever the fuck it is. So he can't use his arms.
A yoke.
Beating the shit out of him. Everybody wants to burn him.
Angus.
Dougal's not a good cousin.
Just
here's
the
where
level,
Angus-
just the level of bipolar these people have. I'm sorry, like 1 minute he's a hero, the next second, we suspect that he might not be who he says. Kill him immediately. Like, woo!
People would claim somebody's a witch because they didn't like that person back then.
Actually,
they wanted their land.
So
if you wanted their land, or sometimes if you wanted a dude's wife, you'd claim the husband was a witch so you can marry his wife afterwards, and all sorts of horrible things. Like it was so prevalent to be people go to jail or be executed for being witches that people were just exploiting the heck out of it.
Yeah.
Scotland burned more than anybody, even more than England.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Now they just do it on social media.
Yeah, now you're a racist.
Yeah.
So Angus at this point's like, there'll be no burning here today. And they're all just, fuck. I bought I'm wearing my burning clothes. What
Look at
am I
the
gonna
guy
do?
on the left. He's not.
I'm
he's
wearing
not-
my good
like
burning
smiling,
shoes.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, can you walk? I'll bloody well walk out of here. And apparently they have a moment, I'll never forget you, Angus. And he gets a nod, and then off he goes.
My best friend from high school got married to that castle.
Really?
What was that?
My best friend from high school got married to that castle.
Really? Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He wore the full-on chief outfit and everything. He went full Highlander.
That is crazy.
Because he loves that movie so much.
Bit of trivia if you're interested in the TV show. The reason that Kurgan was there specifically looking for a Highland immortal was because he was actually looking for Duncan MacLeod, who was born like 100 years later.
Oh, I'm not buying that.
No.
Yeah.
The Kurgan was sent to kill Duncan MacLeod by a demon. That's the whole premise of it. But he went too early.
Is that in the show?
In the show.
Yeah, I don't like the show. We're not. The show does not exist in my world. Actually, the show is fine, but the show is fine only if this movie doesn't exist. That's why it just doesn't work for me. It's too much. It's all too much.
I just look at them as separate things.
Yeah, they're separate continuities. Like they're loosely based on the events of the movie.
I just take the tagline from this movie: "There can be only one," and this is
Which MacLeod is Duncan? Which
it's such a.
I'm sorry.
Duncan is the
Can we
one
take
in the
from him?
series. It's his distant
But
cousin or something.
are they the same person? It's a distant cousins.
They're
Well, the show
cousins.
originally the show
What?
was going to be Connor like what he did in The Gathering before the movie, when the show was going to be just The Gathering. But then when they realized that Christopher Lambert was blind, and they said, let's make another Highlander immortal up, basically, who could have, because Adrian Paul is actually a legit martial artist. So his fights all look cool, and he doesn't actually almost actually kill people every episode. Whereas Christopher Lambert probably would have killed people if they filmed the show. You know?
By accident.
Yeah.
You know, whether you like this movie or
he almost
not,
cut off Adrian Paul's hand while they were dueling, like in the TV episode.
Adrian Paul actually teaches sword fighting techniques.
Yeah, he's a real martial artist. Yeah.
If you like or don't like this movie, you got to admit it's got a neat premise to it.
Yeah, I'm just so confused at what's happening half the time. You don't tell me.
But the movie doesn't explain a lot of stuff.
Go with it.
And it's a college script. It's written in college, and they didn't polish it up very much.
Yeah.
That also makes sense.
So, but it's a cult classic because what it does is a lot of awesome stuff. And a couple great characters put together. Some decent sword fighting, as when Christopher Lambert is not killing people, and the background work, like the sets, and for the low budget they had, like even you're just showing stills from it. When you look around, this is like Christopher Lambert's room of memories,
trophy room.
Like the work they put into this, like because it's not just stuff he collected, it's stuff he gathered over the years, having lived 600 years or whatever.
To his left there, that is Ramirez's outfit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who directed this, Russell McKee, was a video director back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So he filmed this like a giant music video. So that's why it has that kind of that look.
Oh, it has that look. Yeah. I like the look of the film. I like the look of the film a lot.
Yeah.
The reason I am hopeful with the new reboot they're doing with Cavill and Stilinski and the John people is they'll take the concepts in here we love and polish them up. Like so we could have seen the movie.
Sure?
Yeah, I hope that's what they're going to do.
Ego has questions.
Well, I mean,
I have concerns
with an actor who cares about the lore. So, you know what I mean? Like if this can't be done as a good movie, then nothing can be. You know. So
no, I get it. I'm just like it's going to be. It's like saying you want to remake Home Alone. Like, I'm not sure you can do that now because that's a text message. Movie over. Well, like, hey, you see this man in like several different photos. We got facial recognition, guys. We've seen this guy before.
Well, if they do it like they did True Grit, where it's the same time setting, same characters, just updated with new actors and it's the one that came out. I don't know.
No. You talk Ego. You mean leaving this in the 80s?
Yeah, I would.
I would going to leave it in the 80s.
Oh
I would do that too. Yeah, that's
you could also. I mean, you could also like skip past the camera, argument by saying that they're electromagnetic fields.
That's what I'm saying. You could do that with it. Or you could
I'm just saying. I didn't know if the remake includes like modern day, or if you want to make it in the 80s or not. That's
the whole premise here with the Immortals is that they're staying under the radar.
Just let us have some shirtless Henry Cavill, okay? Thanks.
Well, the Immortals are trying to stay under the radar until the gathering.
Yeah, and then
you'd have to do something pretty bad to show up on facial recognition stuff.
Was there any did anyone edit this? Like, did anyone edit the script, or they just like took it as is?
No, there's a lot of edits. We were talking about some like the Kurgan evolved like 7 times to get the
okay. I mean, like script writing for certain things, like the gathering, the prize. I'm just like the homosexual innuendo is like off the charts for me, and I'm just like confused. Is like you couldn't call it anything else.
Yeah,
the gathering.
I think you're looking at it through a 2023 lens. Trust me, back in '86, nobody thought of any of that stuff.
I know Magic the Gathering, but if you just say it's a gathering and I'm going to get the prize, with a bunch of dudes with swords, okay, not phallic.
I still don't understand how that's gay, but okay.
Josh,
I don't understand how The Gathering is gay.
If
It's a gathering of a bunch of dudes trying to get the prize.
Well, see, that's the other thing. If they remake it, 90% of the new characters will be women.
I have literally never
saying,
looked at it.
are you going to have
well, like any UFC event is a gathering of a bunch of dudes trying to get a prize.
Yeah, if you want to make it gay,
that's a number. That's an event and a number. That's different.
Listen, if you want to make it gay and still make it on point with Highlander, you can say it's a gathering of a bunch of dudes trying to get the head.
Oh, and the guy was the headhunter. So,
there you go.
Or maybe some.
Right.
Jeez. Hey Matt, did the TV
well played,
show
my
have?
friend. Well played.
Did the TV show have female?
Yes.
Female. Whatever.
Yes. The sword was the great equalizer in the TV show.
Makes more sense.
Yeah, they had a spinoff Raven.
Yeah, which was horrible.
We're back with Connor now. He's got a gal friend, and they're living in kind of a shitty old tower.
So this is the actress who I mentioned earlier, who like in The Name of the Father. Plus, she's a serious actress.
Dauncey, I think is her name.
Yeah, she's a serious actress.
Kind of a peculiar name, but yeah, I enjoyed her very much in this, and so did Connor apparently. So they're having sex and an apple and some pie. Then this horse leaps over them, which is a little.
That was a nice shot there, by the way, Roman.
I'm sorry. Is that the horse's ass? Yep, it's the horse's ass.
The horse's ass.
That pretty much sums up my show, folks. The horse's ass. Greetings. What the fuck? That's basically what they have going through their heads right now. He does his introduction. I am Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez, and I am here for you, Connor MacLeod. And Connor's trying to say he's not who he says he is. You're driven from your village 5 years ago. They thought you were a fucking witch. Blah, 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 blah. Here you are. And now he starts to feel the sickness again, the quickening, that weird, vibe they get. And Heather's like, "What's wrong, Connor?
Peacock
What's
feathers,
wrong?
though, are
Get away
amazing.
from me, woman!" It's the peacock feathers.
The peacock feathers just make the whole thing.
Sean Connery can really rock the peacock feathers.
Now,
Sean Connery can wear whatever the hell he wants to wear. I don't care.
If there's any scene in this movie that does come across as a gay innuendo, it's this one.
This is it.
Yeah,
the flamboyant man with peacock feathers, and then the guy suddenly realizing his
And
this is his awakening.
Is this where they get the term peacocking from?
Probably.
So this is him showing him how the electrical power part.
This is the quickening, MacLeod.
The sensation you're feeling is the quickening.
You said Connery was what,
He
54 at this time?
Yeah, he's only 54 in this.
Okay.
He looks much older.
Yeah.
Sean Connery really sounds like a Spaniard.
Or I
in
look
this,
much
doesn't he?
older. One of the two things.
He does sound like a Spaniard.
From like 1975 onward, this is how Sean Connery looked.
Pretty
much.
much.
True.
Hard living. Hard
Because
living.
he was in that movie with where they go to like Tibet or something and they think they're gods and stuff.
Yeah.
The Three?
The Man Who Would Be King.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Michael Caine.
If you want a Sean Connery film with a lot of gay innuendo, go watch Zardoz.
Fucking
yeah.
God damn it.
Just the name alone sounds gay.
Yeah. Oh, you should see the outfit he wears. The
So he's explaining to
neck
him.
holder.
I think he asked, "Who are you?" And he's like, "We're the same, MacLeod. We are brothers." And there was much rejoicing.
Like
Wow,
a
dude.
Mr.
By the way,
Pickle.
Wow, that is great.
Innuendo is another great
Nice.
Queen album.
Man, that lightning is just jumping
That's
off
awesome,
the page.
dude.
That is amazing.
I used my airbrush here for that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hello,
cool.
Mr. Fancy Pants. The
Yeah,
pen is evil.
Sean Connery.
Mr. Pickles, right?
Sean Connery's scenes were filmed in a week.
Yes.
Really?
And he was
another commitment. It might have been the Untouchables.
Yeah.
If I'm
and he was drunk half the time, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, you can
Hell,
tell.
we're all drunk half the time. Let's not throw that around like it's a negative. So now we're back to New York. And she's going to see her detective buddy because she wants to see the report.
Again, ain't no one say, Brenda, didn't we see you on when we were in the helicopter last night? Not 12 hours ago. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
So she makes up a story, goes in the office, and she's like, "Oh, this is the fucking guy." Melvin, the answer to your query is yes, he did turn it down. And I'm glad he did. Connery was too old at the time. I don't think it would have gone well.
He didn't have the right accent for it.
Ian McKellen, I think, did a very good job there. I don't think Connery was the right man for the job.
He didn't have the presence.
But to be fair,
which is rare to say. I just don't. It wouldn't have been the same.
Sean Connery saying "You shall not pass." The Balrock would have just turned around and walked away.
Right? You shall not
pass.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I will pass. I'm gonna
take my ball and go home now.
For those of you who read the lore of Lord of the Rings, the character in who Sean Connery and Hughes could play is Fëanor.
Fëanor.
Think about it, man. Think about it.
Oh my God!
Yes, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I need it now. I need
it. No, it's past. The moment is past. Yes. So he's there sharpening his sword. Had to be a better way to say that. While reading the metallurgical history of ancient sword making by, oddly enough, Brenda.
Ego, what have you done to the show? It's all about gay innuendo now. Every single scene.
It's been.
What is
this is your generation, Ego. This is why your generation is so confused. Everything is gay innuendo to you guys.
It's not that. I'm just like this. I'm just surprised that there is not a porn parody of this. Like, hey, it's the dickening. Yeah. That's all.
Come on.
Yes, there is.
I'm not trying to go there. See. Yes. I wasn't the only one. Thank you.
But if anything is popular, there's one.
Back to this movie, that was one of my favorite transitions. So they went to the fish tank all the way up to the lock.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, and again, that's one of those. Just that really nice thing that I don't know if Russell, the director, did that or whomever was doing cinematography. Yeah, going up through the fish tank and then suddenly you're in the lock. And I love this scene so much.
Yeah.
B-A-L-N-C.
Like in terms of the context of the scene, it's probably my favorite Sean Connery dialogue in the whole movie. Like he's like, you can't die, you're immortal. It's like, the way he delivers it, Like
all of his lines in this are very good.
Well, he adapts every one of his lines to the scenes perfectly. You know what I mean? Like he could have camped this up but he didn't because he liked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is the overdressed haggis.
Yeah. So he was like trying to make it real, so to speak, make it good.
Yeah. No, he played the scene.
And Sean Connery's you have the manners of a pig and you smell like a dung heap.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
And you look like a Spanish peacock.
Yeah, you Spanish peacock. I'm not Spanish. I'm Egyptian. You're a liar. You have the manners of a goat. Get out.
Yeah, it was a goat. Sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Tucker tried to address this. Scottish accent, Spanish name, Egyptian who has a Japanese sword.
Yep.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on.
He's the international man of mystery. James Bond.
Oh, Lord. I've lost my train of thought, which isn't surprising. So they're in the boat. He insults him, and away he goes. Yeah, that's the face.
Like,
get out!
Get
I can't swim. You can't drown, you fools. You're immortal.
He walks on the bottom.
The sword
from funny.
The sword from Highlander, first of all, it was the sword from Conan, but then and the sword from Highlander. Or when fantasy collector swords became big with the replicas, Like the Conan sword didn't do it, but it was one of the first, along with the two Highlander katanas, Connor and Duncan's, Connor and Duncan's like Highlander swords, and then the Kurgan sword. They sold like hotcakes in like the early '90s when
there were. You could go to like malls and people would have booths set up with all the swords and stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what
When
started
you
all
say
this?
it like that again,
Yep.
Like they were high end replicas and cheapo replicas, and they were selling all over the place.
I mean, before that, you had to go to like a specialty store or something. But then they started having like the little kiosks in malls. And as you went through, they would have.
And it went crazy. Like in the '90s, you guys remember the overnight infomercials on syndicated show? They would do. They would sell like ninja toes and samurai swords and like commando knives, and like it was like arm your own illegal weapon, illegal action group with these infomercials. You know what I mean? I want to say the certain words.
And it was usually like two guys with very heavy Southern accents talking about how great these knives are.
Yeah.
Look how well it cuts here, man.
It's like any gun show. You got to get to the knife and sword people first to get to the guns.
Yeah. My cousin and I actually ordered the authentic ninja toe with 101 hidden knives. We actually ordered them.
How does Ramirez just disappear right here?
Well, because Christopher Lambert is almost blind. I'm wondering if this is one of the scenes he almost. But two, he blunders. I mean, he comes up there like a fucking elephant. I don't know if he thinks he's being stuffed because Ramirez is just sitting there waiting.
Christopher Lambert probably really did dive out of the way.
Well, he just came out of the water. He's all covered in seaweed and stuff.
Yeah.
He's not very quick.
I can imagine Mulcahy like with his when I get the signal, you GTFO out of there, Sean, right? So and he has his hand ready.
And there goes the sword into the ground. And he's still trying to explain to him the deal. He's like, it's not natural. He's like, you cannot die, MacLeod. Accept it. And then the fish start falling out of his kilt. That's the first time that's happened, has it, MacLeod?
That was cool.
So now they're all having dinner together. It's all very pleasant. And now that we're getting kind of the Q&A phase. This is what Mrs. of the Empire again calls the A-team phase, where they're either building something or getting the position they need to explain the scenes. And this is where he's explaining about the Kurgan, the oldest of the immortals.
This is your expedition dump, MacLeod.
Is this where he tells him he needs to leave? Oh no, not yet. Not yet. We're not there yet. That happens in the village.
Yeah,
that happens in the village. And I'm not sure. They talk about the quickening and just that's not the first time you had that feeling before. No, it was much stronger, and that's what it is. And that's when he talks about the Kurgan. He's the oldest of us, the strongest. They were a vicious people who lived on the steppes of Russia and threw children into pits with dogs to fight. And if he wins the prize, mortal man would be
doomed.
Fucked. Basically, he says it nicer than that, but that's the gist of it. So this is a kind of an odd scene. He's chasing him. Yes. Oh no, we're not at the stag scene yet. I'm sorry. Again, when I say it, those words sound terrible. Don't overextend your thrusts.
He goes like, "You're still not disproving my point."
Shut up, Ego. Just shut up, man.
He didn't have to say it. He was just laughing.
Oh, do you think the tree falls on him?
Yeah.
You should change it to left eye innuendo.
I will say, once innuendo is in here, this is actually my favorite part of the entire movie, though.
Look, there's a phallic symbol that one.
That landscape looks pretty cool. That looks like dragons living there somewhere.
Beautiful. And then he just pushes him over because he didn't do well. And then Heather laughs at him. And he's like, Heather, please. Because, look at that face. Please. Now, I don't understand why they're fighting on top of this big fucking rock. I get it because it looks
it's
cool.
awesome.
Because it looks
Because
cool.
it's the 80s.
But as far as
It's
the
the 80s.
practicality goes, it's just not great. And this is now they're at the let's see what you've learned.
It's a montage.
Yes, we
It's
needed
a
a Drago
montage.
shout out.
So you because you know Lambert is blind. If you watch the engagement in this fight, when they tell actors never get close enough for you to actually hit the other guy with the sword. In other words, they swing the swords at the other sword, not the other actor, right? Unless the actors are highly trained, like in the show with Adrian Paul and some of the other actors, right? So here, if you watch the scenes, Lambert and Connery are either way far apart or too close with the sword.
Super close.
There's no
that makes sense.
You know,
this reminded me of the scene in Evil Dead. Or not
even
Evil
here,
Dead, Army
like
of
when they're
Darkness,
doing the
doing
pose off, Connery's always looking at him.
Yeah.
Like,
don't hit me with that fucking sword, Lambert.
I can
here's the
imagine
stag.
if Lambert actually cut him and kind of just throwing him
Oh,
off the cliff.
I have some funny trivia about the stag. The time of year they filmed it, it had dropped its antlers. So they
What'd they do, glue 'em back on?
they sedated him and glued them back on.
Wow.
Sir Deer, we need to glue your antlers back on for the scene. Thank you.
After
I'd
they
rather
filmed,
that than CGI. I'd take that.
It's like Scrooge.
After he woke up, he was
Antlers
trying
don't
to
stay
shake
on,
him.
sir. Well, get a stapler there.
Yeah, right,
After
really.
he woke, after the stag woke up, he was trying to shake him off his head. And then after they were filming, it ran off and never came back.
I don't blame
Well,
you.
of course it would. These people glued something to my head.
So I'm going to say words again that are not going to be construed well. So Connor's trying to get him. I guess they can feel nature. And he's like, feel the stag, MacLeod. Feel his heart. And he starts moving his foot.
Okay, so
doing I don't know, deer stuff. He's like, come on, MacLeod. And the stag runs off. He's like, fuck this, I'm out here. And he's like, I can feel him. I can feel him.
That's a little weird.
It's a little weird.
That's just that right there. I was thinking, that's a little weird. Why is he so happy about feeling him?
It's like Rocky.
All I'm
this
saying.
is like the scene in
All I'm
Rocky. And then they jump off the cliff. I don't know why that happens either. They're in the water.
You know why, Roman. You know.
Again, look at how far apart they are. Look at how far apart they are.
Yeah.
Don't
Safe
hit me with that
distance.
fucking sword, Lambert. And this is where
Going to stab me
this
again.
part upset me. Because he actually he de-swords Ramirez. That's an expensive, one-of-a-kind sword flying off a fucking cliff in fucking Scotland.
I was like, wait a second, that
Like,
sword's 1,000 years older than you. What?
Are they going to
Well,
rappel
there's that
down and
sword.
get it? Clink, clink,
Yeah.
I mean,
clink.
they could just jump down. They're not going to die.
Yeah,
Might
there
take
goes
them
the
15
fucking
years to
movie,
climb back up.
MacLeod. So now they're fighting this. You know, MacLeod's finally showing off what he's learned from Ramirez. A couple of clinky clinks. You know, nice blocking. He knocks the sword out, and then he actually has him. It had to be a better way to say that as well. And he's like, "Let me help you up, brother." And now they're at the village, where MacLeod is clearly not known for being a witch. Funny things. Heather's buying chickens. Classic Scottish, bare-fisted fight things. And this is where Ramirez tells him that he needs to leave her. You need to
Mr.
leave
Buzzkill.
her. It is. And he's like, fuck off. And then he explains why. He's like, I've been alive for 2,000 and some change. I've had 3 wives in that time. The last one, Shakiku, and her father was a genius. He made me this sword.
And he was an actual sword maker too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
go ahead.
yeah, Ramirez is a metallurgist. So he's been studying metallurgy for like hundreds and thousands of years, so to speak.
Yeah.
And he tells him basically when his last wife died that it crushed him. He, that was, which you can see. And that was it. I guess that's when he decided to call it quits, because the love of his life dying when he could not was emotionally, too much for him, and he would spare him that pain.
And they can't have kids either.
Oh,
Right.
yes,
Yeah,
that's right. Yes, that's also where this comes out. They cannot make baby. The gun is not
So
loaded.
how are they recreated?
Exactly.
What do you mean? Wait, I don't understand the question.
They're born. They're born.
Do they just fall? So they're born, but they can't reproduce themselves.
They're not born. They're all.
So they just fall out of the sky.
They're
if
literally
they're born,
that's how they're created.
No, they're just born like everybody else. But
that's what I thought. That's before the background stuff came in.
They're not.
Hey
They're
guys,
all
give me a minute. I'll be right back.
Oh, foundlings are born.
Weird.
They didn't come out of rock.
No. In the show's continuity, they never say that they're physically born and abandoned. They just say they're all found as foundlings.
Oh, God, come on.
They're all found.
So they just sprung from a rock.
Again,
That's just a
we
rock
know-
got struck by electricity.
So they're lost boys.
Well, don't you remember how Ramirez came back in the second one?
I heard we weren't supposed to acknowledge
so
there's a bond.
In the second one,
like
Ramirez
that.
was recreated from the energy fields.
That second movie was abomination.
It is.
Yeah.
The thing is, again, you can have what was it saying? If you don't accept it, then there's no explanation in this film, and there's holes. And you can accept
I just
it.
the idea that they're born in a band. That's it. There.
So you're born, you don't know who your mother is. You're just found by somebody.
Yeah.
So like
No wonder someone
this
thought they
poor
were
woman
aliens,
gives
okay.
birth and just drops you off on the side of a cliff. Fabulous.
Her job is done.
That's why I had so many questions with the movie.
I don't know.
So either you accept that there's just thousands of babies that are just abandoned like that, or
Like there are.
But
I mean, there are.
who don't die of starvation and become immortal babies laying there all the time.
Or they're from the alien planet or the far, far, far past.
Well, that's another question. So if you are an immortal, you live a normal life until you die the first time, correct?
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
So what if you die when you're like a baby? You'll never age after that?
I guess.
Well,
Because you never age because when you die, you stop aging, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh.
I think someone just hit us with a quickening in our ears. Oh my god.
Skid Row over there.
What happens if you're like a 9-year-old geezer? That's not fair either.
Well, there was one, I think, a really old
fair.
immortal in the TV show, and he did not do very well.
Well, they have like kids in this TV show too. I remember.
Yeah, they had a kid.
What was that terrible sound?
That
I
was,
go away for a minute.
The kid immortal Kenny would pretend to be like a brand new immortal and sucker older immortals and kill them, basically.
Yeah, because
How old was he?
He's like a child.
Yeah, he was like 12.
That's kind of.
But he's like hundreds of years old. He died of plague or something.
He was actually almost as old as Amanda, I think. Like she's what was she, 1,100, and he was 1,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer the not knowing all of the many rules and just taking a lot of it on face value. That's why I think the first movie worked so well for me. Because if you know all the stuff, I think it's too much, that knowing too much. So now it's
and
Heather
that's perfectly fair, Roman. It's just that if you don't, then you have to accept the holes in the film as is, and that's fine.
Yeah,
I am.
I can do that totally.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about the first time we met the Kurgan, and no babies. He never really explains the prize because I don't think anybody really understands it at this point. They just know it's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know what it is until they get there.
And I don't know where. We don't know where MacLeod is at this point. He's not there. But so now it's just Ramirez and Heather. They're having some bread, they're having some wine, they're having a delightful time. And he's relaying a funny story about, he meant to go through the window of a certain girl and she wasn't there, but the girl who was there was most helpful. She's going to get him more wine, and as soon as you get the look, he's like, fuck. So I'm going to pose a question to the panel. Do you think Ramirez knew he couldn't take the Kurgan on his own, and he was hoping that with the help of MacLeod, they could take him out together?
No.
What other reason would he have to find him and train him? Because eventually they were going to have to kill each other. So
so think of it this way. Look how old Ramirez is in that body, right? He died old, whereas Connor died young and still physically capable.
Oh, so he's training him to take out.
Yes.
Assumed.
Okay.
Yeah. But it didn't stop him from trying to take out the Kurgan, though.
No, he could have, he would have, but he just couldn't.
But he's like seeing all eventualities. If he dies, there needs to be someone
has to do it.
Take the.
There's Connor MacLeod who can.
Oh, so he's
just blindly throw a sword and maybe he'll hit him.
So he's so set against the Kurgan not being the final one that he's willing to train a potential rival. Because if either of them wind up killing the Kurgan, then they got to go against each other.
So and in the movie set continuing, he is the only immortal who is surviving, who is almost as old as the Kurgan. So he's been going down through the centuries trying to prepare people who can actually beat the Kurgan.
And he tells Heather to get out.
So here's another question.
Fly off. Yeah.
If he's the only one, if it's the only one, so if the immortals stopped appearing on Earth at some point, then, or what if the Kurgan kills everybody and then some kid pops out and is like, surprise?
The answer comes from other things you guys don't. Roman doesn't like, so I'm not going to say.
I had to read. I read how the third one was set up because I was supposed to be. Hey, that's the original.
Well, okay. I'll answer it this way. So the energy that empowers them, the electrical energy, there's only so much of it, and then when it runs out, then they'll be called to the gathering and so forth. Okay. No more will be born when the energy runs out. Like that energy is manifesting, and like obviously from the second one is the exiles from the past or whatever. But that energy is manifesting, creating the immortals, and when it runs out and no more are created, then they'll start to whittle down to
that's cool.
Oh, so that makes sense. So it's already
it burns like face south. Okay,
it's already reached that point by the 80s part of the movie. Then
yes, the gathering has happened.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. New York is the place.
And that was the premise of the original premise of the TV show. They wanted to show all the stuff that was happening in the gathering prior to the final four of them fighting.
So do you see the candlesticks there on the table?
Yes.
Clancy Brown was supposed to come through the door, cut the table in half, but instead he comes in and cuts the candles and almost decapitates Sean Connery.
Yeah.
And Sean Connery storms off.
Wow.
He almost left.
So, he's bursting through the door here. Clearly. Heather is not happy.
And that's the proper scream face. Like
Ramirez.
He looks so much better with the long hair.
He does.
Yes. And then he just this and right through the table, but apparently that didn't happen in the first take. Now they're fighting up through the tower, and Ramirez gets a good hit on him here, and he cuts his throat.
It's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, if his sword had been a bit longer, that's the way it always is, folks.
That's what she said.
Now, and I know because the movie, but he never followed up on that blow because he's actually injured here. It's not, it's not.
Yeah, he has to actually sew it back together.
That's when you run forward and stab him in the head, and then
you don't wait while your enemy is bleeding in front of you, but he did.
I mean, when I saw that happen when I was a kid, I thought it was cool how he sliced him.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
it was a good effect. Like I said, it was just like, man, Finish him off.
The way Sean Cockney, which is his character's name, Sean Connery's character, died first. He was an old man who was run over by a horse cart.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So it's funny that he says he's Egyptian, obviously he's Egyptian, but he never went by, like in this world, he never went by his original name. That's I would think that the immortals would kind of know their original names. It's like kind of like your secret password with your buddies, that kind of thing.
Probably do, but after a while, if he's had that name for so long, he probably likes it better than.
Well, the other thing is that they're
probably easier to pronounce.
Have canonically have these guys met before in battle or anything?
In the comics, yes.
Okay, because that's the other thing is that they have to stay hidden, so they only can keep a name for so long. Then they have to pretend to die and then change their identity. So, which is why he's a Spaniard now, as opposed to whatever else.
But also, Ramirez hid by staying near seats of power. Like so, see in the movie setup, like in the TV show, they have when they challenge her, they have to fight, right? In the movies, they don't. They could run away if they want. So Ramirez basically he's the metallurgist to the King of Spain, and if he's hiring the King of Spain, I don't care how much power the Kurgan is.
Night, Corey.
Like you're not gonna what are you gonna do? Kill all 5,000 guards of the King of Spain to get one guy?
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, even the TV show, they would hide on holy ground for long periods of time.
Yeah.
To take a break.
Yeah.
This fight is so powerful. I mean, it's just blowing this old tower apart. It's really really fun.
The one spot where you can see where it's like a little firecracker that blows up, and then you see the stones come out. Like there's like a delay. I thought it was funny.
It's cool as hell.
I like the sort of sky background on this fight a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they're in the heavens and the lightning's all around them. And
I have a question. If they redo Highlander and they're gonna do it like a 1-for-1, it's now and then goes to the 80s. Who's playing Ramirez for y'all?
I don't know.
Oh, that's a good
Antonio
question.
Banderas.
Hey, I think the raccoons got Jacob.
Oh, did Jacob disappear?
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there right now on his porch. There can be only one.
They got him.
Yep.
Well, if you go in with the premise of it has to be old, someone who looks old, right? Who can't fight anymore. That's tough because like you could have said, Patrick Stewart, he's too old now.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's frail looking.
Is Liam Neeson in his 70s yet?
Actually, Liam Neeson probably would work.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he could pull it off.
Yeah.
He's older than Sean Connery was then.
Yeah.
But he's still a physically fit older dude.
Well, Sean Connery looks like he's way older than Sean Connery is right now.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, just for the nostalgia of it, I'd bring Adrian Paul in. He's in his 60s.
That'd be a cool
my
thing.
God.
Oh, yeah, a little makeup.
That's brilliant.
And I've always said Henry Cavill should play the Kurgan because of his physical imposing nature, not Connor, that you get a short guy to play him.
That would enrage so many women. There's no way.
Yes.
Yeah, I know it would, but
I don't know because it's either Henry Cavill or the dude that played Jax Teller in Sons of Anarchy. Like that would have been an ovary explosion. Everyone would win.
I got nothing here.
Oh, Charlie, what's his face?
Henry needs to be the good guy.
Yeah, I know, but then
he's
you're gonna have to get like the Undertaker from wrestling or someone to play the Kurgan, which is fine because he's a really busy. He knows how to play that evil, physically imposing character.
That'd work.
Can the Mountain act?
No, he cannot act. Sorry.
No, but he can look good.
Yeah,
killing people.
What about the guy that played Clegane or whatever in Game of Thrones? Or is he too old?
Oh, the Hound?
Yeah, the guy that played Hound.
Oh, that's
Rory? Old.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man,
Mark Calloway's Undertaker is available. He's retired.
We could get Gwendolyn Christie to play the Kurgan.
Oh,
Make it a woman.
Put a chick in it. Make
it exactly.
Stop it, Shield Wall. Stop it. Stop it! Don't give them ideas. My God, man.
No, the perfect monster actress. Leslie Jones could play the Kurgan.
Oh no, God.
So he just
Done
runs
deal.
him through here. The scene makes me sad, but it's just really well done. And then he screams out, and the lightning comes, and it's just really, really fucking gorgeous.
And I really like. I like how they do write the thing to the point where, like, the Kurgan.
Wait,
Ramirez
is James gone? Oh, there's James.
Oh, no,
James
I'm
moved.
still here.
Yep. I'm sorry.
It's
Ramirez
because
protects Heather,
it's because Jacob's back, so it kind of reshuffles things a little bit.
Ah, all right, got it.
I had to fight off some raccoons in an abandoned castle.
Yep, that's where we're like,
we thought so.
Jacob's out there. There can be only one.
There can only be one.
That guy spits on his face.
And that just pissed him off. And then here he goes. Off goes the head.
Woo.
Like, I get nice head flying through the air there.
Nice hair. Yeah.
And then it just all fucking this moment. Lightning coming. And it strikes the the tower, and he falls. And poor Heather has no idea what's going on. And out comes the hand. Hello, pretty. Oh.
Yeah, you would have thought she would have got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Something from the training session, secondhand, avoiding danger. Oh, I forgot to ask, how much time do you guys think elapsed between him showing him or training him and the Kurgan showing up?
I don't know. That's a good.
It could have been a couple of months, maybe.
That's what I was thinking too. A few months, not years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think
it
it
didn't
was
change.
Maybe a year at the most.
It doesn't feel that long.
Right.
So
what did you think, Ego? How long did you think it was?
I honestly thought it was years because nobody ages, and neither did she. So I thought it could have been years for him to show him all of that, to learn to be a master of someone that's 3,000 years old, to best them in combat, even though it was simulated. But
I mean, it could
have
been.
It was years.
It could have been. It's just that the clothes never changed.
It isn't so much his skill; it's his immense physical power and ability.
Yeah, he just overwhelmed his opponent.
Because he was younger when he died, so that he could. Okay, got you.
So she's asking questions. He's not giving her really too much straightforward answer stuff. What's her name? His.
I forgot.
His handler.
Oh,
what her name is too.
Sorry about that.
Rachel.
The lady in the cane suit.
Do we have the scene from World War II?
Yeah, that's in here.
That's what next, yeah.
We haven't seen it, but it's here. Headhunter Stock City. He's wearing his socks. I find that disgusting while he's eating the old school
that
Doritos.
Is gross.
His feet smell, the Doritos smell.
You smell that room.
So she's been with him for a long time. You don't really get the gist of it in the theatrical release. In this one, you do though. So she's I don't know. She's not really his secretary. She's like I said, almost more like a Doctor Who companion because they're not romantic.
Oh, I thought you were going to say side piece.
Well, she's like a daughter to him.
It's war.
I think the Doctor Who companion analogy is really good.
Yeah, they're close, but it's not a romantic relationship.
Right.
They're not.
Well, it would be until you see the next scene when he raised her as a daughter.
Right. That kind of got me like, what?
So you don't see that in the theater though. So this was on this version of it. Now we're in World War II. There he is. Shit's blowing up everywhere. Running to hide. He hears a sound.
I thought he actually looked the coolest in this scene too. My bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like cleaned up and stuff. Yep.
And there's a little girl. Everybody's dead.
That's Rachel.
Her parents are dead. And he's like, "What's your name?" Mine is I don't remember if I don't even know if he says what his name is in the scene. He may just say Connor, and this is Rachel. I'm by myself too. So hug. He's trying to rescue her. In comes Nazi. In oddly enough, not like battle fatigues, but his full dress uniform, because that's how they rolled. He gets shot and he falls over. And she's like, "How are you not dead?" And he's like, "It's a kind of magic." Then kicks the Nazi, shoots the Nazi. Actually, he says a kind of a funny line here. I don't remember what it is, though. It's kind of a one-off thing. It doesn't really matter. And then shoots the Nazi.
Oh, it's not like a line, blow off some steam or something.
No. Something like, you're the master race, Fritz. And then just unloads into him, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, you guys are all the same or something.
Yeah, it was definitely the master race line. Yeah. I feel like by the end of the stream, we should all try to attempt our best Christopher Lambert laugh.
Oh God, I don't know if that's a good idea.
You are the master race.
Oh my God.
I wish I would have kept that scene in the original release, because that made so much sense. And now you know exactly what was going on.
I think they cut it for time reasons.
Probably.
Now
Probably.
they'd make 4 more scenes to
Oh yeah, he'd be having kung fu fights with the cops and everything, just like
that'd be another movie on this movie.
Yeah.
Yo.
So he and Brenda are having dinner. She's hiding a gun and a tape recorder just in case.
Take a look at those swords too on the on the wall there.
For you kids at home, that's called a cassette tape recorder.
So he comes in, she asks if she can take his coat, and he's like, "No." It's like, you're just gonna wear the raincoat? That's peculiar, but whatever, dude.
He's like, I got something else for you though.
I like this. He looks at it and does a little eye roll, like,
Yeah. She's like, "You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing." So he's just kind of poking around because he's been around the block. He knows that.
Did we see
things are probably not what they seem?
And he immediately puts his finger on the trigger.
Oh God, yeah.
He's immortal. What does he care?
He's immortal.
Right, really. Gun safety is not a problem for him.
Gun safety.
Look, he can't see. He doesn't realize it's on the trigger.
That's true.
That's what it is.
I will say this is the only scene in which.
Go ahead. Did we see the Kurgan kill Castigear yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
So there's 3 of them.
Oh, believe me, I'll tell you when I see Castigear.
So there's 3 of them left.
Hey, but Ego, he wasn't the first one to die.
No, it's not even that. It's not even
Actually,
that.
technically, he was one of the 2nd or 3rd best immortals.
Still.
Still.
Ego's so mad about Castigear. So he's unbottling the
cognac.
Is it cognac? Is it cognac?
I love the way he smells it, and it's like I was there when this was bottled.
Yeah, 1783. This seems like kind of a waste on a first date.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
he's balling, man. Just
all I'm saying is, all I know is she has this man's mugshot, and she's like, "You know what? I want to see your sword, Mr. Murder Suspect, that I saw get into a sword fight with the police."
Hey, this is back when guys like Ted Bundy were just getting girls to get into his car just by smiling at him. So
that's true.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was a thing. Yeah.
So this is the other gift, and it's her book, because she says she works for the Met. That's the Metropolitan Museum in New York. For those who don't know what the Met is. He's like, it's funny. The book doesn't say anything about the Met. It does say you work with the police. Mm-hmm. You bastard. Like, okay.
Right.
And she's like, what are you going to do?
Internet to find out all the answers. Just go to your public library, kids.
Yeah, I have a very extensive library.
And I liked how he cased the room and showed he'd been through it all before. You know, like True. He knows what people trying to either get him for something.
And so, yeah, and he asked her about the police outside, and he's like, it's probably, Now we're back.
See, ego,
We're back.
ego. See, that's why the police are staking out her apartment, because they saw her from the helicopter.
Ain't
That's
no
right.
running. Oh, I'm
I mean, you find that out later on, but like,
Ego's just not having it.
It was weird. I was just saying, what's happening? Okay, what kind of weird sting is this? One
Internal affairs, Gunberg.
What a weird sting is this? Yeah, accepted. So, so he kind of walks out in a huff, leaving her. Well, I could have done better. Now we're back at the destroyed home of Connor and Heather. This has got to be like very close to Ramirez's death. I get that feeling anyway. There's ducks or geese. I don't know, fucking birds. She's chasing the geese. They're having fun. They're still young. And this is when I don't know if the Queen song is starting to slowly play in the background. Who Wants to Live Forever? Man,
I think it was.
Great song.
This ripped my heart out. This scene was tough. This is as you're going through decades here with Connor and Heather.
Yeah.
She's getting older. He obviously is not. So he's kind of curious. He's a little worried about her, I think, because so this is where you really see it for the first time, just how old she's gotten.
She aged pretty well.
And now she's kicking off though. And this was really sad. I don't know why you stayed. And then she just kind of tells him to go away. She wants to die alone. And where are we? We're in the Highlands. Where else? It's cold, but it's winter, but you're not cold. You're wearing your sheepskins. And she talks about she wishes they had children. He says he would have liked that too. And then that's it. And she's gone. But the music, the Queen music in the background, there's a very heavy emotional impact in the scene.
Oh yeah, super sad.
Yeah,
it is. I know Misses of the Empire every time we watch it. So he's going to bury her, and he's he leaves the sword there, which I thought was interesting. I guess leaving that
so
part
Duncan
of him
can get it later on. Come on.
Yeah, right. He had one exactly like it. It said MacLeod on it too.
Funny.
The sword
leaving that part of
has
himself behind
is a little different. I mean, it's the sword that his father, like Duncan was adopted by the clan leader who would have been Angus's, I think, grandson, if I remember the time right. And the old Duncan wound up killing his older brother, who is the natural born son of, which is, yeah. They have a duel over a woman, basically.
That's how it was back then.
Yeah. And Duncan eventually goes back to the Highlands for the first time years later, and his family's sword, the sword of the clan chiefs, is hanging in the clan's inn, so to speak. And he takes it after that. Yeah.
So here is Castigear meeting with Connor. This was a fun scene.
Left-eyed
ego. You don't think this is a fun scene? Why? Why do you hate Castigear?
First of all, I don't want to conform to stereotypes. You couldn't say your name was fucking James. Okay, hey, I go by James now, not fucking Castigear. Like, who the fuck is saying Castigear in a goddamn kimono? Oh, that's the immortal, right the fuck there. Who kind of black guy in the 80s, wear a kimono. They don't live in fucking Japan. But that's all I'm saying. What pissed me the fuck off was that he out here going, I'm Castigear, wearing a kimono in New York. And I'm going to drink brandy at this.
I'm looking fabulous.
I mean, it is New York. I'm thinking away with a lot of stuff there.
I lived in Philly for 12 years. Ain't no one do no shit like this, okay?
Oh, yeah, you walk around in Philly like that, you're going to get your ass kicked.
Exactly. Like, my friends in high school were Koreans and Chinese, all right? I wore kimono one time for a Tet festival in like October.
Wait. Can we go back on that for 1 second? Ego. So,
yes.
Are there any photos of you in the kimono?
If I can find them, I will show you. Ironically,
Oh,
I
bless
was
your
in a
heart.
group in high school. It was called the Society for Ethnically Diverse American Students, and it was a shitload of Chinese, Vietnamese, and Filipinos, and one
And
black.
you.
If I find the
There
photo,
you
I'll
go.
show you.
That's not that diverse, sir.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
That
Oh,
was
it's
in,
not.
that was in
Yeah.
A
Philly.
lot of
Ego?
and ego. Okay.
That was in Philly.
Yes. No, this was in
So,
Texas at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Philly
That makes sense.
Philly
I was going to
was
say you
different.
couldn't find more black people to join that club in Philly.
I went hard not to.
In the
I
comics,
also go ahead.
let's say in the comics,
Here,
Castigair,
guys, I got to step out for a second. I'm going to leave you here in 1783
So
with the famous duel.
the comics expand on Castigair quite a bit. He's actually
Really?
younger than MacLeod. I think he was born around 1600 or 1700. They meet when they in the American Revolution. When they fight in the American Revolution, they become like close friends, and they keep meeting up over the centuries together. At some point, the Castigair, I think around 1800 or 1850, actually fights the Kurgan and lives. So he's pretty badass, you know.
It's not that. It was just when they said, "Oh, that birthday in 1783." I said, "Be very careful with this next fucking scene, guys." Okay.
Oh,
I was looking for him. I was like, "Where is he?" If y'all
he's
seen
from
this, is where it was.
I think he's from Ethiopia. He was born in Ethiopia.
And again, that's why I wanted to verify certain
you
things.
thought it was going to be kind of a.
He's out
I
back
had-
with the plow.
I was like, really? Before Glory came out? Okay. You know, I was Negro senses were tingling. That's all I'm saying. You know, I just wanted to figure out where they were going with it.
I mean, when I saw the movie, I thought that they portrayed him well. I mean, you know what I mean?
The comics and novels never like detailed like who, like his origin, like his first death or like what he was in his first life. We basically meet him around when he first meets Duncan Connor in the American Revolution.
But
No,
I got the
cool.
just from his demeanor, how they were talking to each other, that there was mutual respect. The fact that he was still alive by this far into the whole thing, that he was competent. He looked like somebody that could handle themselves and had been around, and you know what I mean. Like I like the character. I thought he was cool.
He was cool. It's just the fact that, like, you know, the 80s were the best time to me for just putting black actors in and saying, like, he's the smart guy, the one that's reliant, the tech guy, all the other things. It was just like, you know, before I could actually get to know Kurgan, you know, the next scene is like the next scene. But I'm like, I just got mad that they had a dude in a kimono, and there's no one's like, what the fuck is this guy doing right now?
No. Well,
that's all.
Again, it's not California, but it's still New York.
Well, that's the thing. Like we're talking since Momo's not here, the potential remake. They want to do a trilogy. They could take these characters and really expand on them, and like you could see more of Castigair doing some cool stuff. And
I can see them making the guy from John Wick 4 Castigair. Because it's the same person.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out the duel here of what was happening.
Well, they were fighting a duel with pistols that obviously isn't going to work on an immortal. It's like, you know,
they're basically just talking about it on the bridge there, and then they just have this flashback of it. It's just like it's supposed to be like a comical scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of levity to the.
Yeah, they're trying to convey that Castigair and Connor are close friends. They have good times together.
Yeah, they had some crazy times in the past.
Wait, so like what comic? Like who made the comic for this? Like, did it was an image or
basically when Connor learns that Castigair is dead, he's just supposed to say, "Well, he's sad. He killed Connor's friend," that sort of thing, you know.
Hey, Smile.
Hi, Smile.
Thanks for joining.
There you go. It was Dynamite.
Yeah.
Really, it was Dynamite? Okay.
Yeah, Dynamite did the comics.
I thought this was kind of cool.
Oh, something happening.
It's a blunder.
So, yes, yeah. I think someone's breaking into somebody's bunker somewhere.
Yeah.
I thought this was kind of cool that and while I was watching it, I was like thinking about all the stuff they could do where they showed like all the adventures of these people as they live throughout time. And that, to me, that was more interesting than the 1986 modern story.
The same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the modern story was just a bunch of fights to the end. There wasn't like
Mhm.
a lot there, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
I mean, there was a bit with like the investigation and trying to find out who he was, and you know, and going through those birth certificates or whatever. But I just found like the older scenes to be much more. It just had more meat to them.
Yeah.
Castigar's character was supposed to be a little more fleshed out, but one of the scenes that they cut was one of the ones that got destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, in the fire.
Yeah. Like everything I know about him comes from the comics, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
I found those two him and those two guys to have more like camaraderie than with Sean Connery's character. It felt like they were actually closer. Because they would have spent a lot more time together, wouldn't they?
Yeah, exactly. And also, Sean Connery was more of a teacher-student kind of thing.
Sensei, yeah,
I
yeah.
was, yeah. But in this case, they were more equals,
Buddies.
I guess.
Yeah.
Right,
As
right.
friends. There wasn't like one was in a different position than the other
Exactly,
person
yeah,
as far
yeah.
as, you know, teacher or whatever. So, and but yeah, I thought this was pretty good. And then, but I just couldn't. I remember watching this when I was a kid, and you know, I had cool sword fights, but this was also right around the time that I discovered like D&D and Conan had just come out. Recent, right before this, and just a bunch of different other movies. So it kind of fired my imagination with the whole thing. And then right after this, you get like Predator. I think the same year as this, Aliens came out.
Aliens.
Yeah. So, this is right smack in the middle of a banger of a decade for like really good sci-fi movies that are classics and genre setting. And this kind of fits into that category in a weird way. And I'm not really sure, if you just look at it in pieces, it's kind of not that good of a movie. But as a whole,
1986 was an amazing year for movies. You had Transformers, Aliens, Karate Kid 2, Star Trek 4.
When did RoboCop come out?
87.
Was Top Gun 85 or 86?
It was 85 or 86, something like that. You had Full Metal Jacket that came out in 87.
Yeah, I'm grabbing the whole
Top
list
Gun was
now.
86.
Yeah,
Top Gun was 86.
I'm grabbing the whole list. Rocky 4.
Yep.
Pretty in Pink.
Ooh.
The Money Pit. Remember, that's a funny movie.
Oh yeah, Tom Hanks.
When did Breakfast Club or whatever come out?
Was that 83?
Yeah.
No.
Legend.
85. Sorry, 85 Breakfast Club.
Legend came out in 86.
Oh, that's good.
Circuit. The Fly.
Some massive amount of movies.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Hey, so I'm gonna need to plow through this a little bit quicker than we have been.
Yeah, so let's
we
just
can try to wrap up in about 3 minutes or so. So yeah, the duel. He called his wife a
Warhawk related.
Some kind of bovine thing, I think.
Or warthog or something.
Yeah. He just keeps stabbing him.
I like how he had to get like a new clean sword every time.
But the part about it that it's really funny is the interaction between him and his assistant.
Yeah,
because there's obviously he's not appreciating the way he's throwing.
No, finally he's like, "Please, sir, no more. I apologize." Fine.
And the guy looks at him like, "What?"
And then it just shoots his assistant.
He shoots the guy. Oh Lord! Now we're back in the nasty hotel. He comes in. He's like, "Hey, Candy said you were into the kinky stuff," and he's like, "Don't talk to me.
Talk to me again."
Do you understand? I hope you get your head chopped off. Here's this guy. He's just driving around looking for something. This is back in the vigilante days in New York. he's
Trans Ams, Mac 10s, and Whoa.
And then he drives by this. It's like, what the?
And this is actually London, England, not New York City.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
what?
interesting.
Yep.
Oh, really?
That's
Oh,
New York.
I did not know that.
Where they filmed it at. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's set in New York, but that ain't New York.
Then poor Castigear, still wearing the kimono. This is where he meets his end. Yeah, the guy just kind of comes in all ablazing too.
He kind of reminds me like a Frank Miller character. Like Frank Miller would like draw this guy in his comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Castigear's head.
Oh, bye-bye.
And they're just unloading him. He doesn't know why. Maybe maybe Castigear had it coming. I don't know.
All right. So I think we all want to know, how did this guy survive being turned into a human shish kebab?
Yeah, really.
He gets run through. He doesn't get run through. He gets picked up
and thrown.
Chucked.
Well,
You'll never watch it.
This is like a Mortal Kombat scene.
That's a testament to quality medical care.
Exactly.
If it was a lightsaber, he would.
It was a lightsaber. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you learn anything from Ahsoka.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's been a flesh wound.
And it took him. I mean, I thought this was interesting because he kills Castigear, but then he has to deal with dipshit. But then he can absorb the energy. I guess the energy just doesn't wander off. It's like waiting.
Yeah. Yeah, they blew the shit out of this alley.
Blowing up. And
they blew the windows up for quite a ways away.
He runs out. He chops the top off the car.
This is an awesome scene. Awesome scene.
Daddy,
Mom.
I like the cinematography here. The side shot. Yeah.
The crazy old lady who lives in the apartment 2 next to me looks like her.
And now the cops are visiting the gung ho guy. He's some kind of survival nut, ex-Marine. I talked to a CO. He said he's okay. Man.
Yeah, these kind
and he
of.
gives him. Go ahead.
I was going to say, these kinds of portrayals doesn't do veterans any favors, though.
No, none of it.
Right.
So to me,
so he gives him basically the whole deal, though.
He sure does have a lot of apples on his tray there.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with fruit. I don't understand. So they just think he's fucking crazy. That's the look of two men who think you're crazy from the story you just told them. But they do try to get him to identify. Did I skip past the picture?
This scene has no effect on the movie. I would have dumped it and kept the Rachel scene in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they show him a picture of MacLeod and say, "Hey, is this the guy?" And he's like, "No, not him." And then again, crazy.
This is my favorite part in the whole movie. Hey, what does baffled mean? What does incompetent mean? I actually would I would do that all the time at work when we had a problem.
Just funny. This looks like it was like just a street scene too, because you got these people just kind of wandering by in the background. Little girl looking at the camera like she shouldn't be.
Yeah, and then mom's like, "Come on, honey, go this way." Yeah.
Now, what the fuck's her name? Lord. Brenda is at something. I
thought that was a prison. This is what it looked like in the picture. Okay.
Oh yeah, she was looking up the birth.
That's New York City architecture. Everything looks like a prison.
True. So this is the doctor that delivered him. I don't know why she went through all this. It seemed extraordinary, but whatever. Yeah. I remember this one. Strange back then because the mother wasn't wed, so he was legitimate. Yeah, for like a minute and a half, then he died.
Well, they have to do this to get the reveal because she's the romantic interest.
Right. It was a little bit wonky though because it was like that's kind of a strange thing to do, but whatever.
I like this one. I like this scene a little bit.
Yeah. Look at those computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did what you asked. I did the research on the building, and these are I forget how many names he has here. Several. someone lives in the building, someone dies, and they will it to the person. You know,
Look at that guy's mustache and haircut.
That is very impressive.
Yeah.
So they're doing a handwriting software, which I don't know even if it existed at the time.
Those aren't actually personal computers. Those are dumb terminals. We had a setup like that. I actually had to put together a set like that one back.
Yeah, it reminds me of the old maintenance cam system where it was just a green screen terminal.
Yeah.
And keyboard.
Yep. There's a central mainframe somewhere that's all running on, and those big boxes are giant.
What? What happened? James, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm here. Who's that?
For the mom? Mommy?
That wasn't me.
Mama?
Hey,
Mama?
Ego, you got to go in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta check out. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So, give us a rating on the movie, and how many times you're going to watch it again this year?
Yeesh. I mean, I'll still give it like a 6 out of 10 egos on this one. It wasn't terrible. It was just I had so many questions, and I didn't know that they had to make so many comic books and sequels and spinoffs to explain the lore. Like I felt like it was Star Wars without the explanations, kind of. Like everything it tried to make after that was trying to explain something that you would have had as a natural question. So I mean, overall, it was cool. Like the Sean Connery scenes in there. It was just, it was a lot to take in without any notice. Yes.
Well, I think a lot of people had the same questions you did, which is what generated the comics and all this other stuff.
Exactly. That's how it all happened. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Like, when I read the sequels, I was like, oh, I see what happened. This was awful. Now that you guys try to explain stuff, you know what? I'm cool with the mystery. I'll leave it for what it was. And if I
enjoyed the mystery better.
That's fine. I got my wife. I got my wife to watch all 4 John Wick movies, and she says it's stupid. So I'm like, you know what? This is my this is my highlight. No, she can't stand it. She's like, she can't stand Keanu Reeves. It's like, honey, the less he talks, the better he acts. It's his superpower. Okay,
that's true. That is 100% true.
Does she like the Matrix, the first one?
She can't stand Keanu Reeves.
Really?
At all. Well, yeah, it's like I tell her, it's like, honey, wouldn't you want to know that if you died and someone wronged the dog you gave to me, this would be the outcome? She's like, no, why would you do all this?
She doesn't like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh,
I one of my cousins.
I too do not like Bill and Ted, but that's
if we do the Ordinary Games podcast at one point, someone's gonna have to ask like what her beef with Keanu Reeves is, because I need to know what that is as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good movie. I hope, I don't know how they're going to try to do a remake if they have to try to explain everything, but from you guys telling me that there are comics and there are things that accepted as canon, that there are good ideas, if they put that into the remake, it'll make more sense. And that's what I'd hope that's what I hope they do. It's just I'm not confident that they'll do that. That's all.
Okay.
Well, the only thing I hope they don't do is explain the origin. It's the only thing I hope they don't do.
Right.
Yes.
Well, thanks for being on the panel tonight.
No problem, guys.
It's great to have a new watcher that has different perspective and stuff.
Yeah.
Ask those kind of questions.
Thank you. I have a huge back catalog of movies that I've never seen. So if y'all just ask have I seen this movie, chances are I have not. So
probably not.
I'm glad to join on. Yeah, like probably not. But yeah, thank you guys for letting me join on. And Roman, sorry I had to dip out early, man. But thank you guys.
No. I'm very happy you were here, my friend.
Thank you. All right, I'll see y'all for the next one. I look forward to the sequel.
All right.
Not funny.
Later, man.
Okay, so they do the handwriting comparison, and he's like, what you got here is a guy who's been creeping around for like, 100, 200 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now they're both skeeved out. Like,
I'd say that guy was the one doing the creeping. The way he looked.
Gee, I wonder if
now they have a picture.
That placement.
Now they have a picture of the Kurgan though from the guy. They got they had the sketch artist go to the Marine who got his ass kicked.
That was more like the Marine than the Kurgan.
It's the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah. Yes, best scene. It's awesome.
So now he's going and lighting a candle for Heather on her birthday because he promised he would. And then we get another just great scene from Clancy Brown though.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he just eats this thing up. putting
I
the
wonder if
candles
he
out.
told him to do that, or he did it on his own.
I think
The
he probably
actor.
did that on his own, man. The way that he's moving around is it just feels like a lot of this is improv. Him just okay,
I
do
would
whatever you
agree.
want.
He,
Go for it.
Clancy Brown, after this scene, apologized to the priest and nuns.
Oh, really?
He's scared
Yeah.
him so bad.
Yeah.
That's a terrible
I'm in
look.
disguise.
That's the look at that guy in high school, you know, the guy that was always fucking with the teachers. That's him right there.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Skull tattoo in the head.
Okay, Clancy, for this movie, you have to grow your hair 2 feet long, and then when to cut it off 2/3 of the way through.
And I thought that the safety pin things were cool.
Yeah, it makes it.
Did y'all notice his tattoo on the side of his head?
Yeah.
The hair, it's his real hair that makes up the hair of the dragon.
I didn't even notice that. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Have y'all read, ladies?
Yeah, that's how.
No sense of humor.
And then he's detailing, Ramirez was right about you. Ramirez was weak. And I killed him and raped his woman before his body was even cold.
And that's when he first realizes it. Yeah.
She didn't tell you.
That wasn't her. That wasn't his woman. It was your woman, and she never told you. Maybe she secretly longed for my return. I mean, holy ground, Highlander. Which I mean, you never really. It's a tradition. You never really understand significance behind that. It's fine. And then the priest comes up. He sees because he tells him, "I'll wait outside." He's like, "We'll meet soon enough." Just being a dick. The priest is like, "People are trying to pray. You're scaring them." Yeah. Forgive me, Father. I'm a worm. I've got something to say.
Better burn out and fade away.
Fade away.
Oh my God.
Greatest line ever.
So now Brenda's back with Rachel, still trying to get to him. And she's like, he's not here. And he always shows up. And she's like, yeah, I'm here looking for a dead guy named Nash. He's like, fuck it. Come on. So now they're back in his room. And that's the anvil in the center of the room as well.
Yeah.
And
it's the details like that make this one of the things that make it really great.
Yeah.
She's like, what is all this stuff? And
Walking through his past.
My name is Connor MacLeod, McLeod MacLeod, and
I was born in the year 1539, and I am immortal.
I for real thought he was going to say, my name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. What about to die?
That movie doesn't come out.
There's Ramirez's hat.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Look at that.
And he takes the knife and he shoves it into his gut.
Bro, it's gotta be
Which he might have done on his own. Yeah, it's a little. They've only met a couple times. It's a little personal.
And it's like he's like, it works every time.
60% of the time.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that brought about her lady feelings, but it did. But now there's
that
a sex
was
scene
just
which I cut
weird.
an awful lot
Now we
out
get
of.
some. Okay, this is the
actually-
weirdest transition ever.
So this scene goes on for a long time.
And then all of a
then we're
sudden
at the
it's
zoo.
like, lions.
and he's telling her that he can't be with her. I can't stay. And the why of it. And what you don't really notice is this in the background.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, you do
I
notice
noticed it
it.
for the first time watching it today.
Yeah.
I noticed that in the background.
And then he shows up at her apartments. Hello, pretty. And he's eating some kind of, it's either a lollipop or a popsicle. It's hard to say. It's not important. It's not important. She locks herself in like that's going to do a lot of good. He breaks through the door like it's fucking paper. Very impressive.
In New York, they are made of paper.
That's what I was going to say. It's an apartment. Then he's going, this looks like the car from Evil Dead that he's commandeered here. And he's driving like a madman while a very bizarre version of New York is playing.
Which
He's
was
playing
never
chicken
released.
and
Which
running
Queen
people over
did.
just-
Queen did that bizarre version of New York.
Oh my
wish they'd
God.
release it. It's so cool.
So and he's up on the sidewalk, running people down, freaking her out. It's pretty good.
The first guy he runs over is the director.
No way.
If Ego were here, he'd say that was appropriate. Knocking people off. She screams, he screams. And now we are at the Silver Cup building, and this is a neat scene. So I don't know why he has his phone number, but apparently he does. So he calls him and it leaves a message. Hey, I've got the girl, come get her. The kind of the classic deal. And Rachel tells him not to go. Because he's probably gonna die. He's like, you always knew this would happen. I've got to leave. And she's like, you're not coming back. Even if you beat him, you're not coming back.
By the way,
go ahead.
That was the biggest answering machine I've ever seen.
They're big back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that was like even an older one. That was like a 70s one or something.
Yeah. It seems almost as big as boom boxes.
So this is where he her and replaces the line. It says the line again. It's a kind of magic, and he says goodbye. And here you get just this crazy fuck sword fight on top of this building.
And he doesn't expect to live. He doesn't expect to win. That's why he says it that way.
And there's the big guy. And I know the electricity thing was a little wonky the way they did it, but it looks really good.
Yeah, this is a cool scene.
Yeah, it's their power.
Everything they touch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put power cables up them. Every time the swords hit, they would spark.
Yeah.
And Kurgan, he appears so powerful because he's swinging his sword, he's cutting through the metal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just insane. Until things start falling, which also Rachel. A lot of screaming out of Rachel in this. It's fine. The big letters start falling. I think this was real. I was like, are they using a miniature here? But then maybe they did, but it worked out so well.
No, that was real.
That's real.
That was
yeah,
that was real.
Okay. I thought it was. It's like, man, they did a neat job with that. Flooding, either the roof or the stage, so that they could fall into the building because the floor is all, the roof doesn't hold. All the lightning. The scene goes on longer in this version of the film, but I still think it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I loved it.
And even though it's not complicated sword fighting, it's very riveting to watch.
Well, unfortunately, it can't be because Clancy Brown doesn't want to be killed by
Christopher Lambert's blind sword fighting.
Yeah.
For a 15-year-old kid, this is cool as hell, though.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, they had to film Lambert's sword scenes almost stop motion, like they'd have him swing and stop, and they'd say, "Okay, hold the sword here, swing there, and stop," and it cuts together.
Wow. So they fall through into the. It looks like a hangar, just this big empty room below.
It's a great shot.
Well, it's supposed to be a movie studio.
Oh yeah. So the window behind them is
a movie studio. It's a real place. It's a real movie studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that window, those set of windows totally look like hangar doors.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. Man, it looks like a fucking hangar. I know
it's probably a giant warehouse. New York City was any warehouse in Jersey and New York look like that.
And they're all like
this was a what do they call it? They filmed it in England. So this was like
too. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, this was a farmer's market type place, and they just put walls up to make it look like a warehouse.
Yeah, but actual Silverstone Studios is a real place.
Oh, yeah. I'm back. He's about to take the death blow, but then Brenda shows up and hits him with a piece of wood, and and then Connor blocks, and he's like, "What took you so long?"
Yeah.
And again, like I said, it's not a ballet.
Okay,
but it's
Lambert,
still
don't really
very
cut
fun.
my head off, or I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm assuming they used just those two actors for that scene. They could have used stunt doubles because you had the backdrop.
Well,
cut
back 2 scenes. One more, yeah, right there. See how one more. See how they can't possibly hit each other? Like go forward. Like when they're separated, flashing the swords. They're never within distance that they can actually hit each other. Or they're too close to be hit. It's like
you can't do a wild swing and take off a limb. Oh, did it happen? Did he do it? No, not yet.
No. His eyes turn black.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah. And then he does this weird run up on him, which I didn't understand because it didn't seem very tactically sound.
He didn't want to really get his head cut off by Christopher Lambert. That's why I was filming. And he just runs at him, and then that's it. I hate joking about it because I love this movie. But when you got an actor who can't do it, you know what I mean. You got to film it how you got to film it.
Yeah, true.
Gotta do what you gotta
improvise.
do.
Improvise.
So I like this. So he's just kind of laughing, and his head just slides off, and then you get the whole. He does the whole thing with the sword again, though, which was interesting. And then crazy light show. Now, again, this goes on longer and more elaborately than it does in the theatrical version.
Is this particular version we're watching some kind of like updated one or something, where they like remastered it and made it 4K and added better effects? Because I don't remember the effects being this good when I first saw it.
Well,
this could be my memory, but
I know that the Ultimate Edition, I don't know if they 4K'd it. I know they cleaned the film and remastered so you can see the stuff better.
Right. Also, I was usually watching this on a crappy, barely color TV.
Well, that's true. The old school TV
in my room, or on a second generation VHS tape. I run it from somewhere.
So as all that was going on, he starts shouting like, I know everything. I am everything. So he's getting, all this just stuff crammed into his noggin.
The prize. And you still don't really know what's going on at this point. And then you're back in Scotland. I don't know what kind of aircraft that is. Probably some kind of British bullshit, but
maybe it's a Harrier.
It doesn't look like a Harrier.
No, it didn't look like a Harrier. I think it's
not a Harrier.
Man, what the hell is it called? Not a Harrier.
Not a Harrier. Thank you for the. There are two types of aircraft. In the British
There's a Hurricane
and not the Harrier.
Typhoon, right?
Yeah, like a Typhoon or something. Yeah.
So he's explaining to her that now they can have kids. He can hear the thoughts of basically everybody on the planet, and he needs to bring the people together, try to get each other to understand each other, whatever. I don't really know if that's much of a fucking prize, but whatever. He seems pretty happy about it. And then you get the Sean Connery thing. I don't know if he's seeing him or if he's just seeing the memory of him.
Well, Sean Connery's inside his head. He has all his memories now.
And basically, the last thing he says is, "Don't lose your head." And you're just kind of going through the flashbacks of all the things that they've done together. We could have babies, and that's kind of it. Like I said, I never really.
And then he makes a shield over the earth.
The prize. I don't think he explained it very well. I just don't think maybe there wasn't just a very good explanation of it. Because, like I said, you got that he could hear all their thoughts and he needed to bring these people together. But whatever, it's still.
Well, he's also immortal now, right?
Yeah.
He's mortal. He's gonna die.
Yeah. So that could be
And again, I think they should have left it here. I mean, did everybody else see the terrible sequels?
Yes.
I gotta wrap.
First time in my life, I walked out of a movie theater going, "Oh my god!"
Right.
That was
Josh. Did you see those two, or at least one of them?
Yeah, back in the day with my brothers, I did.
I saw Highlander 2 in the theater like a fucking weirdo. It was.
It was
so bad.
It was garbage.
If they had done Highlander 3 as Highlander 2 and never did Highlanders 2, 4, and 5, it would have been an okay sequel.
I was
Yeah, it would have been an unnecessary sequel, but at least would have made some type of sense.
It just didn't. Again, in my opinion, the sequels didn't need to happen. This was an enclosed movie. I didn't need the background. I didn't need a future. It had ended. It was over. He won the prize.
Good choice,
It was
sir.
the last one.
Yeah, CLS, I wouldn't recommend it.
No, don't do it. If you again, Sean Connery said it. If it's playing, run out of the room. I do have to wrap up, guys. So I apologize for kind of the rushed ending version of the show. Give me a real brief what you got coming up, and then we will close it up. Shield Wall.
All right. Thursday. Wait, this is Thursday. Next Tuesday, I will not be able to be on Jacob Ironside's show because I will be out of town. Also, everybody have a happy Veterans Day on Saturday.
Yep.
For everybody that served out there, thank you for what you do and what you're doing and what you did and what you will do. Yep, that's it. I like this movie.
Yeah, same. Matt?
Tomorrow, I think I'm going to start my Friday 1 hour afternoon live stream. Be talking about the potential reboot. I have some comic books I'm going to unbox. A couple of came in.
Cool.
Be on Jacob's thing next Tuesday. What do you got? I don't know what you got going on next Thursday, Roman, if I'm on that or not.
I think you're on the one after, Matt.
Yeah. And then I'm doing a couple things with Jacob over the next month. So Thanksgiving films.
No, Matt, you're on for next week.
Okay.
For planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, Jacob and I just did a 2-hour thing with John Ford, John Wayne movies. You all should go watch.
Yeah, I caught some of that. It was really good.
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. Blair, what do you got coming up, buddy?
A week from today, I'm going to be at the Milwaukee meetup.
Oh, nice.
Time.
Wait, that means you're not on. You're not going to be on next week, then, Blair?
Yeah, I'm out of town. I'm going to be out.
Okay, so you're not on next week. I have you on here for next week. You may get an invitation. Just ignore that.
Okay.
All right, James. Let's see the finished product.
There you go.
So cool.
Nice.
That is beautiful. Dude.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Now send that to Blair at.
I've got my let's see, this November 19th, got my 100th episode coming up on YouTube. Nice. So going to be doing something big for that. Just getting ready for Tokyo Comic Con and Okinawa Comic Con, and working on little Christmas ornaments. So if you want something for Christmas to put on the tree, you can order. Just got finished with the Ghost Rider one last night.
Let me load them, James.
There we go.
Cool.
Yeah,
nice.
Little Christmas ornament things. So if you guys are interested in that, throw me a DM. Otherwise, just getting ready for the Comic Cons and got the 100th episode coming up, and that's about it. Thank you again for having me on.
Well, thank you again. Thank you for sharing.
It was fun talking to you guys about the movie together.
Talent with us.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Josh McDonald, what do you have coming up, sir?
Well, tonight I'm going to go make out with my bed. Tomorrow night I'm going to, unfortunately, go watch the Marvels, for all that black girl magic.
I am sorry.
Yeah, Saturday morning I'll be on Thinking Critical with Wes for his channel. Sunday I'll be on Max's Man Cave. And then Tuesday we're going to have Culture Popped.
Right on. Busy. I can't say how sorry enough that I am about the Marvels, because that's a lot. That's a lot for anyone to endure.
Black girl magic.
Oh. Jacob Ironside, sir.
Yes. Saturday for Veterans Day, I'm going to be going over the series Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then Tuesday, I'm going to be going over the 1950 movie All About Eve, which is a pretty good movie. I like that movie. And I'll be on here next week.
Yep. Right on. I've lost my thoughts.
Untamed Mando.
Happy.
No. It wasn't Mando. No, I was thinking about. Well, Jacob was talking, and then, and why don't I have you on for next week? I know we talked about next week.
Anyway, all right. I'm a moron. Mando. Mando was just, she's doing the thing down there. Like,
don't
I'm sorry, Mando.
It's fine. So I don't think I will be having Literary Souls this Saturday. Just my schedule's been crazy IRL. But I will have I think we're having Dungeons and Dragons this Monday. Tuesday I'll be on Jacob's channel, and then Thursday I will be back here on Roman's channel. And who knows what all else is going on in my life at that moment, because holiday season's approaching, and a lot of my friends have children who want to see their Auntie Mando.
Awesome.
Oh my God.
That's excellent.
I just realized the Marvels put a chick in it and make it gay.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's the movie. That's the entire movie, I believe. So I am sorry for everyone out there seeing the Marvels tonight. I'm sure the interwebs will be abuzz with some fantastic things tomorrow. For everyone on the panel, thank you. Man, I got a lot out of this because there was a lot of things I didn't know. And again, some things it's fine, but it's getting those background things, that Christopher Lambert was fucking blind. That makes the movie. It makes you look at it differently, not for him because he's fucking blind. And to our delightful chat. Again, everybody brought a lot tonight. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun for us in the exchanges that we have when we are enjoying revisiting these movies together. So again, happy Veterans Day to all of my brothers and sisters out there who did the job. Keep an eye on your veteran friends. Remember what I said last week. That time of year, 22 veterans a day is an awful lot. And for everybody, just this time of year can be kind of rough. So keep an eye on your friends. And so that's it for Roman of the Empire Highlander. Until next time, be kind.